You don't have to say, why won't you break the story? Like, what is your biggest fear? Because you're the guy, you're Sir Leaks a lot. You don't give a fuck. You can't be bought. You can't be.
Oh no, Keemstar's in the chat.
Keemstar's in chat? All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Super Late at 368. We got a new time. We're actually late, 10 p.m.
It's late now.
I know, right? Before it was at 7 p.m. I don't know why the hell we would. I mean, whatever, man. We figured out the time. But I'm Gabe Olivero. And with me today is always the venerable writer from The Verge, the man with no comparison when it comes to hair and glasses. It is the Bijan Stephen. Bijan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm very excited for tonight's show. It's like the big brain, smooth brain intersection.
I know.
I'm very excited.
My brain is so fucking smooth, and I know
Same.
the brains we have on here. When I mean these things are fucking wrinkly, like shit. So first up on the list right now, this is also gonna be the biggest episode we've ever done in terms of talent, knowledge, skill, everything.
Okay, don't besmirch our other guests.
I mean, they've been great, 100%. We've had
great.
great time, but this is star-studded. So I didn't think they'd ever be on a podcast together solo. So that's also the funny part. So first up, we got, this man, you know him. He's vocal. He's loud. You either love him or you hate him. He's Sir Leaks-a-Lot himself. You got to respect him no matter what. He's coming back loud. He also has the inside scoop on Doc, but he will never reveal it. It is Rod Slasher Breslau from New York City. And then he's full recline right now playing EVE Online because he just doesn't give a shit. He just sat up right now.
He really is playing EVE though. He's really playing EVE though.
We got the biggest brain on YouTube, the biggest brain on Twitch. This man is by the analytics. This guy has data. He's the only person I watch full videos in. Anything past 20 minutes, I'm not there. I watch his stuff.
With 2x though.
With 2x speed. So I'm full zombie when I'm watching him live and watching him on YouTube. It is the iconic, often imitated, never duplicated. This guy's got an amazing background. It is Devin Nash, everybody. We got silos. We got anything?
Wait, should I get an air horn out?
Oh, there it is. You see Devin on the feed right now.
Welcome, guys. How's it going? Devin,
Hey.
you're calling in from Seattle. I saw you eating some noodles before. Looked good. Slasher, how
I'm
you
eating
doing?
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Yeah. I went out. There's a heat wave right now in Seattle. It's like 90 degrees. So I went outside, ate my falafel in this beautiful garden, watched the bees pollinate the flowers. It was very zen. Then came in here and did the podcast, my man.
90-degree weather, humidity.
Yo,
You were
hold
zenned
on.
out.
What'd you learn from the bees though?
Birds and
You learn everything, man.
Yeah.
Bees, well, bees are not as busted. They're basically like not as busted as ants. Ants are busted.
You mean like OP
Ants are
or-
actually busted. Do you know this?
What way?
Please break
In
it
every
down.
way. If you take the total weight of ants, this is why they invited me on the show. If you take the total weight of ants is greater than the total weight of humans.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I
Yeah.
would think so when there's a fucking billion trillion fucking ants that are alive.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, look, it is bumblebee season.
Bumblebee season.
I once studied. No, it's the queen season. They're going around looking for new hives because they've been kicked out of their old hives. These are the new queens. I used to study bumblebees in Zurich.
You used to
my
study
man.
bumblebees. Slasher, did you have a moment
My previous
outside
life.
today where you went out and had a falafel, had some zen moments, talked to the bees? Or the
I
ants?
had a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh, there we go.
That's the same
This
thing,
man's
though.
from New York, bro.
In New York.
Of course. From not even like a deli, from like the corner guy.
Oh yeah.
So I think to kick this off, right? I think the past weekend,
the outside guy.
the outside guy on the corner.
Yeah,
That's also what I call
Yeah.
the guys outside. The outside guys.
The outside guy.
No, because the corner could be corner store, but no.
Can I-
mean the dude with his truck on the corner
Yeah.
making fucking bacon.
Can I
best
tell my
shit.
New York story?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Okay. So when I used to run CLG, we had to go to New York a lot because we were partnered with Madison Square Garden. We sold the Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
So we were working with them all the time. And I went into this bakery at 2 in, which in the West Coast, like Seattle, LA,
Doesn't
where I'm
exist.
from, everything is fucking chill. Okay. And I go into this bakery at 2 in. There's this old dude there. He's behind the counter. I'm looking for some pastries and shit. So I'm kind of, just doing my LA thing, kind of walking back and forth, looking at the pastries. Guy looks right over at me. I'm there for 30 seconds. He's like, hey, buy something or get the fuck out. And I'm like, what?
What do you mean?
I immediately just I'll take this. I'm so sorry. Like just buy the like back out like this, dude.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the attitude change of people from New York and the East Coast to West Coast. Like holy shit.
I think they
It's
just do
insane.
that. They just do that to fuck with people from the West Coast. Frankly, like it's not.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. He was just like, that guy's not from New York. It's 2 a.m. I'm tired.
He was probably staring way too long at something. He was just like, dude, I want to go home. Can you wrap this shit the fuck up? Like this last call on this bodega right
yeah,
now.
because bakeries close at like 2 a.m. Because they got to open again at like
Were you
5.
the only
Right?
person in there, Devin?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. This dude, you're
Yeah.
the number one enemy right there. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, I want to go home.
It was rough. It was a PAX East, so I was like, yeah.
So
it was-
PAX East in New York?
No, I was up in New York for MSG during PAX East.
Okay,
yeah,
during
yeah.
PAX East.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a
'Cause
really good East Coast experience. You got New York assholes, and you got Boston.
Boston, yeah, everything, the whole 9 yards,
He's
man.
got the
it was
full.
Tinge of racism.
He's got the full. I'm
mean-
walking here moment. You know, like what the fuck. So matter of fact, I want to ask you guys, right? Because this past week we had Twitter blow up for what seemed to be like no reason at all. Devin, you made a video on it. Slasher, you went on Twitter to talk about it, which was the Joe Rogan situation,
Oh, my God.
where everybody was like, "Joe Rogan's a fucking boomer. He doesn't know anything."
Yo, look at this man's kettle.
And Devin's fucking pouring some tea right now.
I'm getting ready.
He's
This
I
is my
love
conver-
it. I love
He's
it.
This
getting
is my
zen.
conversation. I import green tea from China and Japan. This is a big hobby of mine.
Do you know how to do the tea ceremony?
Oh my God, yes, yeah. I studied in 6 months for it.
Really?
Are you fucking?
Oh
with us?
yeah, 100%. No meme whatsoever, dude. I literally know every step of it. I have all the gear for it. I have the whisk. I have all the stuff it's like around my office. And I have all of the specific teas that you use. I have the specific pot. I have everything. I can show you my whole tea set.
Oh my
Show
god.
us the tea set. Leak the tea.
Oh, he's not actually in
You know,
space.
up
Holy
on the
shit.
top there. Yeah, I got like all this shit, and then in my prep room and everything, I've got like everything.
Devin, did your comedy training teach you to be this funny? Because like you're on a roll right now.
It did. I used to be really bored. I used to be fucking bored as shit, dude. Like it was bad.
I'm
And
glad
then I
you
went to funny
changed that.
school.
Yeah, funny school is good.
Yeah,
Wait, but
Devin,
yeah,
I'm remembering this tea shit for later. I just want to let you know.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, Monka tea. What do you mean? Are you gonna?
A few hours.
Is this how you're gonna get me?
I don't know. We're gonna make you make some fucking English tea for us because
We'll bring
that
it-
shit is incredible.
We'll bring it
Bitch,
back.
I don't make any English tea. I make green tea. I make fucking
God,
Japanese and
He's like, you need to
Chinese tea.
fucking know this
What do you
shit
think
is
I am,
high
a
quality.
Barbarian?
Bro. It's got antioxidants in it. That's why
Yeah,
he's
bro, it
drinking
does
right
have
now.
antioxidants
Not
in
It
that
has
black-
TCCG, which is one of the most powerful antioxidants on earth.
This guy's brain, bro.
Yeah,
This guy's
antioxidants
brain.
and ants, bro. That's why you're here, Devin.
Yeah,
But-
everything with ants. That's right.
So
So
Joe, so what happened with Joe? Like, what was your guys' reaction? Like, what was going on?
Slasher, shout out that you backed me up on the Joe Rogan take, but not we both had the same take. Yeah.
Unintentionally, which is good.
Yes, it wasn't coordinated.
No
It was just
no coordinated.
yeah,
No coordinated takes
coordination.
here.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good. Love to see it.
So you guys
Uh,
didn't. Oh, go ahead, Sasha. Sorry.
I mean, for me, I come from the Quake community. I come literally from the game that no one cares about, no one talks about, and is ignored relatively to everybody else. That just so happens to be the exact game that Joe Rogan has literally been addicted to his entire life. I have been more addicted to Quake than any drug or any other thing that I have or have not done in my life. And Quake has taken over my life probably more than any other video game has, from like a wanting to play all the time, need to play moment. And I played Overwatch a ton, and Counter Strike a ton, and
You're
Valorant
getting a
a
little
ton.
twitchy talking about it, bro.
Yeah, of course. So I'm just trying to say, like, I
That's
am
the cocaine coming off, actually, not the Quake.
I understand where Joe is coming from, like on this game, and because I've known he's been playing this game for like 20 years, even though he stopped playing for a little while. He even made a post last year on Instagram stating like, playing Quake Champions again, this thing is more addicting than heroin and crack cocaine combined. Like that is what he said. So for me, it's like, look, I know Joe Rogan is being. Oh, he's also had a pro gamer, Nothing, which is Jordan from EG, for a long time, a pro Counter Strike player, and he's had on, the guys from Doom. He's had on John Carmack from id Software before. He's had on developers, even though it is the games from Quake and Doom that he plays, on the show. So for me, it was like, I know he's been addicted to this game. I know he's played games his whole life. He's spoken on his podcast before about how he loves games and just play what you want, and that doesn't really matter. So if he has some, some dumb views on this one thing, I think that, look, he has a show that's 4 hours long every single time, and this happens all the time, but no matter what he talks about. But if you take like a minute clip like this, and it can get spread so quickly that I just found the whole thing kind of unnecessary. Given
that's the actual problem, dude, is the misclipping. It's like Joe Rogan even defends professional gamers not 45 seconds after the clip, but like DeSerto can't be fucked to just like actually like they've got to post like and they clip it up, right? They edit it too, so it's like I hate video games, and it's like this like four like it's all like mashed together. And if you just read the whole thing and the entire context of it, then you realize that it's actually a defense of video games. It's not. It's completely the opposite.
Yeah,
really? What makes you say it's a defense?
Well, did you watch the video?
I did.
You watched the Devin Nash video?
I did. I watched literally the whole thing when it came out. I clicked on that red ass thumbnail. I was like, yo, I gotta see this shit.
Dude, my thumbnail game is like
we gotta get into that later, bro. You've been upgraded.
Yeah, man. I have some Sith level masters that are teaching me some shit, dude. Some fucking Jedi like
Ludwig.
fucking. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's one of them, dude. I've got some fucking like Sith archive fucking Wayfinder shit going on. Like it's good stuff. But I say that because here's the thing, okay? Like Joe DeSena was actually the one with kind of like the person that he was talking to was the one with the kind of like iffy attitude on it, because he literally was like, it's 1 in a billion, and Joe Rogan literally was like, no, it's not. It's actually more common than that. And he said like, you can make a lot of money playing video games, but you've got to be adaptive. You got to show your knowledge of it. You got to be aware that you can play multiple games. Like he's very like just exactly like Slasher said, he's very conscious of it. However, he also is conscious of the fact that video games are a waste of time for a vastly higher majority of people than they are a source of full-time income, right? It's infinitesimal, teeny weeny, eensy beensy, like amount of people that make any kind of discernible income playing video games compared to the number of people that actually struggle with it from an addiction standpoint or from just a pure waste of time standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. That was his point, that it's like it's a double-edged sword. That I think was what he was trying to get at.
Yeah, you can wake up at 30 after dedicating yourself to this game the entire time and just be like, what the fuck is going on in my life? Which is like with Joe, like Joe said that himself. He was like, woke up at 30 years old, addicted to Quake, and his stand-up comedy wasn't where it was at. His career wasn't where it's at. He's just like, I got to stop playing this goddamn game because I'm not getting anything done. And go ahead. There was a time in like 2014-ish when we were in the First World War on EVE Online, where I had to make like a literal decision.
Yeah, I was waiting.
No, I'm not that old.
I didn't think you were, but I was like, bro, maybe you remember it.
We're in the First World War of EVE Online.
Back in when we were in the First World War, yeah, like in the First World War of EVE Online. Okay, listen, the First World War of EVE Online was a big deal. Okay, okay, it's 2014. I'm running CLG, right? And I had to make a literal decision. Am I going to fight in this war, or am I going to be the CEO of this company? And it was like a 50-50. Like I wasn't sure, right? Like I've had that. I was the person that like my mom had to put quesadillas under my door because it was the only food flat enough for me to eat on EverQuest raids.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, I get it.
Bro, your mom let you raid though?
Fuck yeah. Well,
Slasher, did you have anything like that too?
Yeah.
What, quesadillas under the door? No,
like a situation.
Slasher doesn't have any parents. He just spawned like an orc from Mordor.
My time was like trying to listen to my mom if she woke up, so that I knew I had to get off the computer and pretend I was sleeping if I heard any noise in the apartment when that was happening. And because because it was 56K days, if she picked up the phone, it would disconnect the internet. So I would hide the phone. I would hide her phone. I would take the phone. I would make sure there's no way she could turn on the phone during that. And I got so good at getting from the computer to my bed before she would be able to. Expert. Like I would make sure because I'm trying to play the game and listen in the game for things that are happening, and then I'm also trying to listen to, is she going to wake up? Do I hear any type of movement from the bed or the floor?
Incredible.
And if that happens, I have to go.
You know what's extremely funny is That is like the first chapter of Edward Snowden's memoir. He did exactly the same thing. Because like, this was the come up, right? This was the 56K days. These were, man, that's like, has any game experience ever been as exhilarating as beating your mom back to your bed before she woke up and like caught you on the computer?
You remember that game, Don't Wake Daddy? Where like you have to like the implication is like,
oh my God.
What the implication, basically you have to sneak around this board, and the implication is your dad wakes up and beats you if you don't do it.
Okay. All right.
This is a really well known game.
Yeah, I believe it. I bet it was real. Draw from the developer's experience. But no, Devin, I gotta say, like, your video about about breaking down what Joe Rogan was saying is like the first time I've ever seen a close reading of a Joe Rogan video in a way that like it was like I was like, oh, like I get what he was saying. I see where this is going. And I'm interested. I'm interested to hear like. So I think we were talking earlier about talking a little bit about G4 and Venn and these new ventures, because I feel like there's a little bit like entering the streaming market now, as saturated as it is like a little bit akin to like trying to be a pro gamer like from your bedroom. So I don't know, like, what do you guys think? Like,
Yeah,
what's,
but
right?
Venn and
like,
G4, they're not. It's not more
No,
looking
but
at
like-
streaming.
but
They're
like-
producing broadcast and networks.
right, but they're doing broadcast television in a like now streaming
In a
exists.
streaming, yeah, okay.
Like I don't know. I used to watch a lot of G4. Venn I'm sure is gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, it happens like next week.
Yeah, shouts to the homie Aaron Ashley Simon,
Yes,
who's
you got a job.
doing the thing. But like, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on like the launch of these two networks and like what it means for streaming and gaming in general.
I mean,
The launch of what two networks? Sorry.
G4 and Ben,
Yeah.
Oh,
the two.
You don't know what those two are? Devin is just like, oh, yeah.
My man's brain is too big to contain everything.
Can't
Well,
deal with
I'm
you.
familiar.
Back, and then Ben does launch next week. But to tie it back in, I mean, Joe Rogan getting $100 million in Spotify has allowed him to continue doing his show, which is whatever he wants to do. He's been able to build up such a huge audience over mainly YouTube to then sell his podcast as a show to Spotify, and that allows him to say whatever the fuck. And now Joe Rogan has reached a point where his show is being clipped every single day for content for other people with good reason. Yeah, he's hit at a level where so many people listen to what he has to say, and that like affects the daily discourse of the day or whatever. But him getting the Spotify deal, it allows him to not give a shit. Do you notice that he never tweets? Joe Rogan does not tweet, and that should be smart. Everyone in the media, everyone who has a show, everyone who has a podcast is always on fucking Twitter promoting and marketing,
Live
and
now.
networking, doing
But
all that shit. But the number one person, Joe Rogan, doesn't give a shit. The only thing he does is repost his Instagram posts, which are like pictures of stuff. And he's really smart. So
That is the dream, though, is getting off Twitter.
So then how does this tie into Venn and G4 then, Slasher?
there are new things popping up all the time, whether it's podcast networks. And now you have G4 and Venn, which are, again, the dream of doing a 24/7 gaming network. But, G4 used to be on TV. Of course, that is no longer a thing. So that, from my sources, say that is going to be focused online. So now instead of doing it on TV, they want to have 24/7 gaming networks on Twitch and YouTube and all these platforms, which on a basic level makes the most sense than it ever has before. I mean, gaming's bigger than ever. Twitch culture is bigger than ever. Streamer culture is bigger than ever. There's other like industries like music and movies which are now tied into Twitch. So there's like more opportunity and more room to do this content than ever before. However, at the same time, tying it back into what we're talking about with Rogan, there are some people like Joe Rogan who command such a huge audience that he doesn't need to go on the platform. Like if you're a huge streamer like XQC or like, okay, so Austin is a good friend of me and Devin's, is doing a show through Venn, but his main source of income and his main work will still be his main shows that he does on Twitch. He's just getting paid an additional significant amount of money probably to do another show for one of these companies. His focus will still be his own content. And if you're big enough on YouTube or Twitch, there isn't as much incentive to join G4 or Venn unless there is a really gigantic salary or you are making it like secondary content. Like you're already doing your main thing and then you signed an additional contract to do new content. And I think because a lot of their creators aren't going to have, like, the primary thing is not going to be the show or content they do for G4 or Ven. G4 and Ven is going to have a really tough time doing 24/7 Twitch and YouTube networks compared to fucking, like, I don't know, XQC or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and these are businesses that have, like, you know, tens of millions of dollars being poured into it, and G4 is backed by Comcast or whatever. Like, I can see, like, fucking XQC or Shroud is still going to get more fucking viewers than this thing that's being spent for tens of millions of dollars. And I think that's a problem. I don't mean, I feel like it's potential to have success, but there are issues.
What about you, Devin? What do you think?
I think that having more pre-produced content come to Twitch is good, and come to new media in general. It brings more show type stuff to the platform, which evolves the platform overall, makes it easier to identify with sponsors, and kind of moves our industry forward. I figured this, I think, like a couple of years ago, when I started to see shows like Critical Role. It's like one of the most popular D&D shows in new media, and some of these like more pre-produced shows, which is like, okay, we come to Twitch, we have a plan, we're going to actually produce something, and then we're going to leave. Right? Versus like, hey guys, what's up? I'm streaming video games, you know? Like that idea of that pre-produced content makes it a more accessible platform for brands and serious players to get involved. And I just generally think that also it's like partnerships with people like Austin for Ven. They're great because that also adds more money into the ecosystem for those content creators, which incentivizes more shows, which incentivizes more quality, and we just move forward as a platform. It's literally like a rising tides lifts all boats situation.
So then, just to stay on this a little bit longer, so with the whole Ven and G4, well, we haven't seen what G4 is going to be, right? They're probably going to lean into nostalgia, old school shows, etc. Maybe make some new ones. Ven is packaging themselves, like taking somewhat traditional media formats and applying them to, like, I guess they're gamifying them in some way and making them nerd or geek culture.
And they're also like adding like young new creators into the mix, which like I thought was really interesting. Like I was surprised but not shocked to see like Sushi Dragon get a show.
Yeah.
But like it is a very interesting sort of play. But anyway, continue.
So then my question is with that is that do you feel that traditional media forms or IPs that have happened, like let's say in MTV Real World and stuff like that, apply to what gaming is in and of itself? Do you think that transition even works? Because people have been trying to do that for so long. Like we're gonna put gamers in a house, for example, and they're gonna set 8 gamers under one roof. What's gonna happen? Oh, they're probably gonna fucking play video games.
Yeah.
Like what? Like,
yeah, they're just gonna play video games.
It's like they're gonna play EVE Online full recline. Like, all right, dude. Like I got nothing to do.
You're really getting me for that, huh? Look,
that shit was
I need
hilarious.
to update
Respect,
my market
man.
orders.
Respect.
All right, like I have 6 accounts. Okay, they're not gonna. This spaceship isn't gonna build itself. All right, like this is a live economy, boys.
You know, we love to see it. We love to see it. It's like it's just like the real world, or so I hear.
I mean,
it is, yeah.
The house stuff actually, even though you're making fun of it in that like produced way, it still does happen. Like 100 Thieves has a compound. All of their streamers are in the fucking big thing, and they're all streaming. It's like, but there's not like cameras watching them. It's like they have footage that they take and then they pre-produce it and they release it on social media, and it does really well. But like the whole 8 gamers under one roof thing, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Even though I really do think if someone legitimately tried to do some type of like Survivor gamer that's not like dorky. I mean, there has been a few, like,
there's like a way to execute it.
I feel like there's been a show on Sci-Fi they had for a few years of becoming like a top nerd or top gamer or something. I mean, there actually has been a ton of different shows. And the difference is every show before was actually made for TV. All of the shows that involved gamers were made for like TBS or the Sci-Fi Channel or Turner or whatever. And I think if you make the show for Twitch, which Ven is doing, that could really work. I mean, look, they had such a tough time building the brand from nothing to try to get people to care about their brand. But as long as they're really being authentic, and I know that word gets fucking overused so goddamn much.
We should,
Authentic slasher, everybody.
Also passion, please.
Yeah, and passion. But if they really do a good job, you know, maybe it really does take off. I mean, of course, everything that Devin says is right. I'm all about personally taking G4 events money. If G4 Vet wants to pay me for my content as the #1 free agent, which I am,
He is. It's true. I confirmed it.
I am going to take that shit. So that stuff is good. I'm looking at it from like, do I align myself with G4 or Ven? I mean, other than just taking the money, which is obviously good. Do I think that these platforms are going to live on? Do I foresee them not dying in a year or two because of lack of interest? Or maybe Ven runs out of money. I mean, G4 is owned by Comcast. They literally cannot run out of money.
They're also run by the guy who runs the Philly Fusion.
And T1. The guy that runs T1 and the Fusion is dating Olivia Munn, and I'm sure I'm sure that had nothing to do with the G4 return, right?
They got more money than God's God, bro. Like, they're good. They can run that for as long as they want.
Look, I would bet on G4. I would bet on Ven to fold before G4. For that very reason.
So wait, Slasher,
if Ven definitely has the better direction. Like I know Tucker, the guy who's in charge of the T1 Philadelphia, really cool guy. Him and Olivia seem really happy. They did this whole like interview and like entertainment like tonight, like a few months ago. They have a very cute picture together. I don't know if I believe in him to create like a TV network and stuff. Like I seen some of them, like Kevin Pereira talking a bit, like, and Jessica Chobot, like his husband was saying, like, did an AMA on the G4 Reddit earlier. I mean, look, there's nostalgia involved, but if they don't really get talent, then that shit is not going to fucking succeed. Ven might be the one with less money, but Ariel Horn produced all of the League of Legends Worlds content, which is the best produced content in all of esports. And he went to make this company, and he really knows like how to make good content. So that could power them through over G4.
So with establishing these media networks, right, Ven, G4, etc., you have all these like Mixer buying Ninja and Shroud and all of that. I wanted to ask you guys: do you think gamers are the top 1% of gamers? Do you think they're actually celebrities? Because like you said, people get signed to these contracts because they want their clout, right? We want you to bring awareness to our show. But we saw Mixer, for example, the two biggest streamers in the world, Ninja and Shroud, they're getting like fucking 5,000, 3,000 people watching them. And these people are getting like 40, 60,000. Like, are you a real celebrity? Because
it depends on like what your definition of celebrity is. But like, we seriously, like, listen, okay? The Rock, okay? The Rock has fucking 191 million followers on Instagram, okay? That is fucking 2/3 of the population of the America of fucking United States, okay? Like, it's so much bigger on scale than even our top 0.001%. Like, fucking crazy amount of shit. I mean, there's celebrities relative, like, here's how I look at it, okay? There's a thing called just to get super five-head here, there's a thing called the marketing adoption curve, okay? So the marketing adoption curve is a normally if I had MS Paint, I could use it for my power, but I don't, so I'm gonna have to use my hands. Imagine like a little camel's hump. There's a chasm that goes down, and then there's the rest of the curve, okay? So boop, bloop, bloop. And the way that it works is early adopters, they hit the first part of that curve. And those are people that try things out. They're like, oh, this new Twitch TV thing is really cool. Like, I want to try it, right? And that's like 5% of the market. Then if you want to jump that chasm over to people that are actually people that use regular products and services, you have to jump what's called the marketing chasm, and you have to go over there. And so a person like Ninja is very unique because to some extent he did that. He has products in Walmart. He's been on Ellen. He's been on a bunch of he's been on the late night shows. So we have a couple of examples of gamers who have jumped that chasm, but the vast majority of platforms and gamers have not jumped that chasm. And like where The Rock is and where like other celebrities are like in the middle of that market adoption curve. Like old people know him, young people know him, fucking everybody knows him. They can't go to the grocery store without getting recognized, right? Ninja can still wander around downtown LA and like he's not going to get mobbed.
So besides Ninja, who else would you say has reached that level of status? Because you say there's like a couple people.
In gaming, maybe Pokey, but honestly, like Ninja was like maybe Slasher would know. Like there's really very few. Yeah, probably nobody.
Well,
super rare.
It's honestly probably nobody.
I mean, this is also why Ninja's so notable. Well, I remember.
You know what? Maybe, and I don't know how you guys think about this answer. PewDiePie.
I think PewDiePie is
probably the other answer. Yeah,
but like, he's the closest thing to it.
But I also think I still think Ninja's like I think Devin, you're right. I think Ninja's unique because like remember he hosted the fucking ball drop at Times Square like the New Year's party and tried to get everyone
Yeah,
to
that
flock.
shit's.
But I was just
dude,
like, that's everyone in America is watching that. That's
yeah,
like
dude, that shit
Watch
is a
them get
big
rained
deal.
on.
And remember, and by the
Huge.
way, I'm glad you brought that up because do you remember how it was received? It
Yeah.
was Ninja doing fucking flossing while
Yes.
everybody
Rain.
thought he was a fucking idiot.
yeah, exactly.
Because
And
and the reason for that is because gaming is not accessible to normalized audiences yet. Like that is like actually proof of concept right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that shit was fucking cringe as fuck.
yeah, but like, but the thing that like,
Yeah.
Do
Most,
not
like-
ask the New Yorkers standing. It was raining that year, by
Yeah,
the
it was-
way.
it was
Everyone-
bad. No, I
everyone
remember.
fucking remember. Anyone who camps out in the middle of Times Square is already an insane person
100%.
to begin with.
there's
okay?
nowhere to piss.
No,
You're wearing a
you have-
diaper. You're going in a diaper. Anyway, go on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, you
can't-
have to just stand there and sit through it.
Because once you leave, you can't leave.
Like you,
You
like,
can't leave. You can't leave.
like if you
What
leave, it's
the
done.
fuck?
You either gotta wait till the ball drops, or you just have to piss on yourself. It's like that's. I mean, that's why the
and
city
it's-
smells.
It's from like noon Eastern or something until
That's
the ball drops.
disconcerting.
You can't fucking move.
Yeah, West Coasters don't know this shit.
Yeah, I know, man. You guys get to live a great life in the
If
sun
you're
and chill.
insane enough to do that shit. You don't want to floss for those fucking people.
But also, by
What did you think was going to happen?
by
What
the
did you
same
think?
token, by the same token, these are also the certifiably insane people who have been standing there for 12 hours. Like, what wouldn't they do? Like, they're not pissing. I know that, but like, what else?
Apparently not floss at all.
Bro, Any move they do is gonna make them want to piss more. They gotta
Yeah.
keep the motion very, very slow.
So it was the bladder for sure.
So-
All right, but
so-
I,
go
it
ahead.
was still. I think it was still very notable, just because it's like, you know, like I don't know. This is reminding me of the AOC Twitch stuff today, because like this is another like point where like gaming culture has crossed over into the mainstream in a really strange way. Hello, Devin.
I see upside down. Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. Hang on a second.
His brain is
It's
hanging
just-
off the ceiling, bro.
Oh shit! It's Spider Dev.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think
Alright.
the AOC thing is really interesting because it's like she was trying to explain to members of Congress what Twitch was, and like why they should care. And it's like, obviously this is like, I think a nice analogy to the people standing in the rain trying not to piss for 12 hours. Her like talking in front of the house. I don't know. So like, what did you guys think about that whole event? Like does it feel like a turning point in games? Like, are we gonna see more of this stuff? Slasher, you look like you're about to say something, or
Well, it was really funny how you've somehow connected these two fucking things.
You're welcome.
I don't know that
Five
they're
head,
not.
baby.
They're not even.
Remotely.
They're
close.
not. It's not. It's not.
No. This is. I mean, I do think it's gaming culture crossing over to the most normal group of people in America, the representative normies that make up Congress. Like that's like.
Yeah. But in terms of like notable gamers being mainstream, gamers being the hip, cool thing that everyone wants to be, being a real celebrity, where fucking people are camping out of Ninja's apartment to get a picture of him and Jessica every single day to see what new outfit they have on. No, that shit has not happened yet. And the only person that's only kind of gotten there is Ninja and PewDiePie. And even then, no one really gives a shit about like what they're wearing today or
Not
what-
their fits. What do they get seen in? Do they get the new
and
sneakers?
you know, when you hit
Yeah,
real
Ninja's got those
celebrity
sneakers.
when dipshit the photography, what do they fucking call it? The
Paparazzi?
yeah. When they start following your ass around, then you know you.
That's when you made it. So then, before we get to Bijan's AOC question, then because like you said, they weren't connected.
They were connected. Your
No.
brain just isn't big enough to make the
That
bridge,
shit is
bro.
smooth as fuck.
Mm-mm.
So then, do you feel that the value on these gaming influencers or celebrities or whatever you want to call them, do you feel like it's overvalued? Like, do people really think? Because I think there's like people think live views and such are like the end all be all. Where I know maybe Devin will agree with me that I think YouTube is vastly more superior than the live view, right? The VOD view that you get. He threw his hands up.
And that's my show. Thank you very much. I've said all I want to say. Thank you for having me.
Gabe,
That's
amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's 100% right. We sleep on YouTube so much because YouTube has a dynamic ad network that makes so much more sense to invest in than typical influencer marketing. Like here's the thing with influencer marketing, okay? I actually haven't like talked about this, I think, but if you want to do influencer marketing correctly, a lot of times the way to do it is to do micro influencer content. So for example, let's say that you sell something like you're like a local restaurant in Seattle, right? one thing you might want to do is you might want to look for a couple of local influencers who are 800 followers or less. Not like something like really significant, but who are the type of people that follow a 400 follower Instagrammer? They're friends, right?
Yeah.
People in the local area. So you get together, and I'm actually speaking from a literal case study. I have a friend that does this, and he runs a Vietnamese restaurant in Seattle. And what he did was he reached out to a bunch of people that had like 300, 400 Instagram followers. And he said, hey, come in, get a free meal. I'll pay for the meal. And I'll also give you something on the top, something like 40 or $50. And take a picture with it. Like, tell me just authentically what you think about my food. This guy went from like this restaurant was clearing like 7 to 8 to 9K good month profit to like 40 to 50 G's a month. Right. And all he did was just Instagram influencer marketing. That was it. Because those micro influencers, you know your target demographic, you know your audience. Whereas if you go to XQC's stream and you try to sell something, right? There's all kinds of fucking people in there, right? Like the way I like to think about it is if you can imagine like let's say that your total following is like equal to a city. So like 500 followers, you're like a small town, right? And 30,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 50,000 concurrents. Now you're like downtown LA. And in downtown LA, imagine all the crazy fucking people down there. There's the guy waving his dick at traffic. There's a fucking homeless guy with a bucket on his head, right? So like not all those people are going to be your target demographic to sell something to. So if you really want to do influencer marketing correctly, it's micro-influencing that takes the cake. Otherwise, you go for CPM ad networks. They're almost always more effective.
So can you explain to me right now, really quickly, the Dr. Lupo Gillette commercial I saw the other day on fucking Twitch that just popped up? Like, I have a beard. Why would I shave?
Yeah, it's very good.
I think occasionally the Twitch sales team, like V for Vendetta style, black bags a brand and convinces them to spend a horrendous amount of money to try something over here. And usually it doesn't work, which is why you don't see a lot of like repeat stuff. But it does, like it comes through. They sell the inventory, and then it's very shaky. It's really, really hard right now for Twitch to justify their ad spend versus a platform like Facebook or YouTube, Google, or anything like that, because you can objectively measure ROI on any of those other PPC platforms.
And just to like piggyback, Devin is totally right about everything. At the same time, like the market for streamers was perfect when Ninja and Shroud signed their deals. You had you had Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft all competing against each other with basically open books. And you had all of the streamers with an agency called Loaded, who had all of the top streamers at one time, who had a past history with Twitch and knew exactly how to negotiate the market with making sure all their talent gets paid by one of the major streaming services. From what I understand from sources at Twitch and YouTube, none of these guys want to pay that type of money ever again. The only platform who will is Facebook. And like I was able to report that Facebook offered Ninja twice as much money as he made from the Mixer deal to come to Facebook, and Ninja declined. So Facebook has the money to spend. Twitch and YouTube do not want to spend on content. They also don't think they have to or need to. Because they really don't. Look, YouTube is so much bigger than Twitch. It's just that everyone cares so much about the live streaming instead of VOD, when VOD makes up so much more of the video on the internet. And people just don't realize that or ignore that.
Why do you think that is?
Because live streaming is cool and YouTube isn't as cool right now.
Well, it's also relative, right? Like, because we're power users in the Twitch space, we tend to think about the things that go on in Twitch as like the end all be all. Like the truth is that these are very sort of niche kind of like environments, ecosystems. Whereas like outside of that, you could just give you an example, right? There's about 15 million, and that's like post-COVID, so it's really good numbers, like 15 to 16 million people that come to Twitch every single day to watch all of the content on Twitch, which sounds like a lot of people until you consider that on YouTube, it's 200 million. Except it's 200 million just for gaming. So like without any other fucking thing included, right? So it's like we live in an ecosystem where Twitch as a platform is like super talked about, but immediately one step outside of that, like you go to Trader Joe's and people are like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right. It's very insular. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then like we have the #1 free agent right here, right? Slasher, Devin. Would you say why if he's gonna start creating content, are you sending him to YouTube or Twitch? Like what? Like how would you? What's the ABC plan for Slasher?
It depends on what he wants to accomplish. The truth is, right now, if you start a show on YouTube, you're likely to get a higher concurrent viewership than if you do it on Twitch. But Slasher's a little bit of a different egg because he already has such an established following. He can go wherever he wants and be successful. He also knows the game. He knows all the stuff to do. So he's going to be successful no matter where he wants to go.
Slasher, what's all the stuff to do, bro? What's in the toolkit?
What's the content? Tell us the content. Give us a preview.
Oh, you've seen what Ninja did. Ninja did one test stream on YouTube to show everyone that he still has a huge dick. And, and then in G4, the current plan is to stream on every platform. And I think that in general, the platforms don't want to pay a lot of money, true, but they still will pay some amount for good content. I really think trying to stream on every single platform and trying to abuse the algorithms on every platform is worth looking into before you sign an exclusive deal with one platform.
100%.
If you can manipulate the YouTube live stream and the Twitch live stream, and then, I don't know, Facebook is so desperate for anything, so that maybe if you're streaming on both, Facebook will still promote the shit out of you if it's on Facebook. And maybe it can work.
The interesting thing about Facebook is, like, even when they sign people, it's not exclusive contracts, which is, like, how they're sort of desperate for views. Because, like, I think
it's only for gaming.
But, like, where else are they signing streamers, right? But it is
like Disguised Toast is on Just Chatting Twitch, right?
all the time. And it's like, oh, like, so I see what they're trying to do, the world domination thing from the side, which I think is very interesting. But I am interested to hear, Devin, so, like, why are there more, like, why would there be more live concurrence on YouTube than on Twitch? Like, what's the, like, it's just the audience is bigger? Is it the algorithm? Like, what's the reason?
Why would there be more live concurrence on Twitch than what do you mean?
YouTube versus Twitch.
On YouTube versus Twitch.
No, that's total. That's total people in the ecosystem at any given time, like watching gaming content versus I don't actually. So one thing that's really interesting is for the top echelon of YouTubers, there are lately, been higher concurrent viewers on YouTube than there has been on Twitch. So people like LaserBeast got imagine 900,000 concurrent viewers live.
Ridiculous.
That is insane. There's like no one on Twitch has even come close to that kind of number as an individual broadcaster.
Drops, pretty much.
It's totally nuts. Like, and that's legitimate users, right? So like, YouTube has already shown that they can get users that are like a higher base of concurrence. Their top celebrities can do it, just because they have what we sleep on a lot is that when it comes down to it, Twitch doesn't actually have any kind of real algorithmic learning, which means that, like, if you want to find a stream on Twitch, the way you do it is like either you go through the directory or like mostly you just kind of like get some idea from like a collaboration that someone else is doing. It's actually really hard to discover streams. But if I want to like look for like Pokemon's dog playing Fortnite top plays where she talks to a 12-year-old at the same time and the room is blue only, like I can search for those terms. It's going to pull up exactly what I want to watch, and then YouTube is going to recommend me more of that content. And because of that, it's a flywheel that grows and brings more people into the streams. And for that reason, YouTube will always have a better system.
So speaking on YouTube, and you just talked about how like you can put it in these specific search terms and get real deep, get super meta. You just had a video not that long ago you did with Ludwig. And, Ludwig does none of the quote-unquote best practices, like putting in the right search terms, putting in like this very specific titles that you could search up. It's kind of just like freestyle, whatever it is. There might be a term in there. How has that affected your game? Because you're pure, you're just data, man. You've changed everything.
Ludwig does do the system. It's just the system has changed. It used to be, if you wanted to make successful YouTube videos, you would want to use your title as kind of an H1 tag, because it would teach the algorithm what to search for. So, for example, if I put in my title, top Fortnite plays, then like YouTube would actually flag that very highly. Nowadays, dude, like it's actually a totally different game. The way that it works is YouTube builds an individual profile of you as a user, and based on what you are based on what you watch, your watch history, your watch time, your engagement with those things, you get built sort of a profile of what you want to watch. And most people, they just watch videos off their recommendation tag and their suggestions tag. Like they just watch it off their home tab. Like that's like their behavior. So it's changed now that what you want to do with a thumbnail and a title is you want to create every possible chance you can to get somebody to click that video. and if they click through on that video, then you have them. So that whatever the title is, I mean, I literally have like people I know that are like, the title is click this video.
Yeah.
And then the
39 DAF or
metadata
something
gets
like that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like 39 DAF. Something like
That is
something
39 dash video. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you've done your research. I'm super impressed. Yeah. Or like Borgar, right? And or Ludwig has videos like I am speediest man. And like the reason that shit works, right, is because he actually solves for the metadata in his description. The description gives you all the keywords that you want, and then the title and the thumbnail gets you in. The high, what we call CTR, which is click-through rate, the number of people that click through the video, that boosts it up in recommendations, and then people with that profile that like that sort of content click on it, and so goes, and that's why those videos take off.
So Slasher's gonna have nothing but clickbait when he comes on the platform, right?
I can't wait for Slasher.
He's
clickbait.
got nothing but juicy titles to put.
I feel like I see commentary channels owning right now too.
Dude.
So I feel like it's definitely it's helping everybody.
It's our time, dude. It's our
I'm
time. It
surprised
really
that
is.
Slasher's not doing
I
commentary
still
already.
think I think a Slasher like hair product review. I would click it.
Is this shit ass?
Like luscious locks, how to
Luscious
get them
locks.
from Slasher.
He's using Maui moisture.
But
a beta only.
but
It's
Devin,
changed a lot. Like, I remember like 5 months ago, I have a video, highly successful long-term streaming strategies with Amaranth, right?
Super meta.
Super meta. That video didn't do too bad, right? And now, like, fast forward, I'm literally have videos like click to save gaming or gamers versus Joe Rogan. Like, it's like totally different fucking stuff. And like, a lot of the people has inspired me for Moist Critical, if you know him. He's another one of these guys that has like, he's been on the show that Slasher and I are on a lot, the Scuff podcast. Dude, this guy, his fucking titles are next level. It's like, so he has 870K views in 2 days. It's called Batman Doesn't Kill People. And then a day later, he releases a video with 544K views. Batman definitely kills people. Okay. And like this guy like is next level, dude. Like the way that he sex toys can get you ripped. 1.1 million views.
yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, I'd click on that.
Yeah.
Instant.
It's amazing.
It's
It's
actually
really
terrible.
changed.
It's actually terrible.
So
yeah,
I'm
it
just
is.
glad. I'm just
It-
glad
it's
clickbait
awful.
is now good content. Like clickbait titles leading you to things that are actually like interesting. That's an inversion of the formula. I love that instead of like shitty slideshows that are spam. But Devin, we were talking before the show. We were talking a little bit about like Twitch streams and like what makes a popular Twitch stream versus what makes a
Successful.
successful Twitch stream.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying no one has ever asked you like what makes a successful Twitch stream. So Devin Nash, what makes a successful Twitch stream?
Well, the answer to that question is subjective, right? It depends on what you define as successful. That's a really shit answer, by the way. It's like
Yeah,
that's
no,
like,
because you gave us that same answer, and I was like, he's
Yeah.
got to have something that he'll say more about.
Nope.
Perfect. All right, moving on.
Slasher, what do you think makes a successful Twitch stream?
I feel like I just got baited. Like we were like talking off
That's the
stream,
clip.
and I was
That's
like,
the clip for the video. That's a really shitty answer.
all right, thank you for the shitty answer. But Slasher,
You're welcome.
tell me about the product that you use in
Be
your
really
luscious
good at
locks.
video games or be entertaining, or get the fuck out.
Oh damn! So Devin definitely can't be a streamer.
Oof.
That's crazy.
You heard it here first, folks.
Matter of fact, I wanted to ask because, you know, I'm sorry this is becoming like a little bit more of a Devin conversation than a Slasher conversation. I just had one more question. in my
Get the
mind.
fuck out of here, Slasher.
I mean, we just gotta
wow.
have Marty
Time for
again,
the-
bro. Like, that's it. Like,
Get back to AOC. I don't mind doing that.
It's time for the real analytics.
wait, no. Keemstar also. Just put a pin in that.
After this,
Oh
we'll
my
get into
God,
the
that was
juicy.
pin in that.
The word Voldemort, it's been uttered.
All right.
It's
So
been- if you say his name 3 times, he appears like Beetlejuice. Be careful.
okay.
Only in
okay.
a clip, though, right?
Only in the clip.
I hope
though?
so.
So Devin, you went and you had, I don't know how long this ago, whenever it happened, but you actually received comedy training and improv work, right? So
yeah.
you said that you never used to be, I guess, an entertaining streamer when you started, when you early in the stream
Yeah.
today. How do you feel like that's really affected your streaming? Like, what have you pulled from that comedy improv work that you carry into all your broadcasts?
That's an amazing question. I think one of the most inspiring things for content creators is to realize that broadcasting itself is actually a skill.
Yeah.
And when I started streaming, it was in 2012. Like I was like an OG streamer. I streamed League of Legends full time, and I taught people how to jungle and shit.
Hell
And
yeah.
like it was so toxic that like I fucking went crazy. And then one day before I started streaming, I started crying underneath my desk. And then I decided to stop broadcasting. And then I went into esports. And then I cried under my desk in a different way. But now I'm here and doing this stuff. So a big part of when I came back to broadcasting, I decided I really wanted to have a target about how I wanted to do it. I felt like there was a hole in the industry that's like nobody is talking about sort of the meta of the things that happen on Twitch that like live. There's nobody doing this. And I feel like I'm pretty good at it because I've had some business experience in the field and I can probably handle it. So, and then the second thing I wanted to do is I wanted to interview guests. I wanted to have deep dive, really cool discussions with top performers. So I decided to do this, but I was like, fuck, I'm boring as fuck. What do I do? And then I'm like, okay, I literally am going to go join a like traditional improv class, like Seattle Improv. Go there every week. I'm going to act out for like 4 hours and learn like how to evoke things, how to like change your tone so things are much more interesting and engaging and like change everything. And then I took stand-up comedy. I bought one of these fucking things. It's like a little, by buy it, I mean, I got it from Coursera for free. Thank you. I got one of these things. Yeah, so every time that I hit this little button, it creates a little note in the stream, and then at the end of the stream, I go back and I look at that, and I look at like, did that joke land? Did it deliver? Did I need to get pausing better? Did I need to like handle it a different way? And through that method, I literally like went from being like 100 viewer Andy to like combined with like collaborations and other marketing shit to like the top 0.001% of broadcasters at this point. It's a totally farmable skill. You can do it. Like a lot of people don't realize that.
Really quickly, so would you write jokes to say in your show, or everything's
100%?
Really?
Yeah.
So you had baked in content.
Can you give us an early one?
No,
do you remember any?
Still do it.
Do you remember any of the early
No,
jokes that you did?
don't let the magic go, Devin.
Don't let the magic go. Don't answer that. Don't
no,
answer that. Don't
you
answer
don't
that.
plan anything.
Slasher backing me up. I do have a
Greatest
template.
PR man alive.
I do have a template for my shows. I do plan and I do write jokes still to this day. And I will go back and I will highlight them and see how they landed.
Slasher's like, you just ruined the whole fucking mystique.
I tell my viewers this, like it's like they're not gonna, they don't
so
care.
Cool,
They're
though.
troglodytes.
I mean, the other thing is like,
They live in a fucking cave.
Shouts to Devin Nash who's in the stream right now.
The
But no,
troglodytes.
it's interesting because like it does like that kind of like pre-production work does put your stream ahead of other people's stuff because it's just like this is like real stuff. It's real content. I hate the word content, but it's like real.
Well, think about every other profession that does something even remotely close to what we do. Public speaking, comedians, right? Comedians write every single line of what they do. They literally like plan it out, like fucking John Oliver, fucking Jay Leno, all those guys that run talk shows, right? They plan everything. They have writers. They have like, I don't know why these concepts are so arcane to us. Like we think that like the only meta is like, I'm gonna log on and I'm gonna play a video game for 8 hours and then maybe I'm gonna talk some stuff. Like, dude, like of course that these lessons from other successful people carry over to teach us things that we can apply ourselves to.
Dude,
but we're so fucking lazy. We can't be
low on Twitch.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Any good idea?
Do some work.
Just take 10 minutes.
Like after the show is over, if you watch the Scuff podcast,
Oh my God.
which is purported to be, and look, I have a wonderful time on there, but it literally is the name of the show. Like we cover really important topics. Train brought on NBA players last week, and like there's no like list of questions that me and ironically Devin writes the show, and when I'm not lazy, I help him write the show. And if we didn't, or Devin didn't write the show,
It'd be
no
fucking
one would
chaos.
write the fucking show. Okay, and this is what technically the biggest talk show on the entire
On
platform.
Twitch.
So the bar is so fucking
It's so low.
for even a little bit of preparation.
And half the time we don't even do it. We don't even go off the top. It's just like,
no.
what are you doing? Or like, how big's your dick? Like, it's just stuff like that. Like,
So then,
100%.
how do you guys manage? Like, you guys are literally in chaos on that show. Like, there's a million different voices happening at once. There's this person screaming, this person screaming. Slash is fucking saying "fuck you." You're like, okay, whatever. How do you guys manage that? Like that chaos?
it's organized chaos. It looks really
That
impressive
don't
from
look
the
like it,
outside,
bro.
and in reality, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. It's just, yeah.
Also, Train is an expert at. He'll be like, I don't mean to slightly change topic and go completely like
We changed topic.
Oh,
in
that's
a
great.
total other direction, not even remotely related to what we were talking about. And then it'll be like, all right, any gifters? and now we have a sponsor, so like the show actually can get even more clusterfuck. I don't think the show is gonna get any less.
That shit blows my mind because you guys got the Cash App sponsorship, for a large amount of money. And I've seen Trainwreck stuff on YouTube.
Congrats, Devin.
I'm like, this dude is not ad friendly. Like, he's definitely not advertising friendly for most people. Like, for Cash App to sign that deal, I don't know, Devin, do you have any insider info? Like, how did that even conversation begin? Did they reach out to Trainwreck? Did you reach out to them? Did you facilitate that?
We closed that deal from open to close in 48 hours. It was the fastest I've probably ever had a deal done. It's just that Train and I have been looking. So the other, like my other hat that I wear, I'm actually only broadcast part-time, less than 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
My main job is I run an agency, which is like a full-blown talent agency that reps people and does creative solutions for brands. So I typically use that war machine to do stuff that I think is cool. And Train and I were looking for a long time for a partner that we thought that could also give back to the community. We get offers all the time for the podcast. There's a lot of inbound. But Cash App is cool because they actually, like the first show that they did, they fucking dropped 20 G's on the community.
Yeah.
Like just straight up, right? And that's like, this is a really cool form of marketing that I've been thinking a lot more about called experience-based marketing, where you don't have an objective return on investment for the marketing you do, but because everybody talks about it and creates a narrative, it becomes something bigger.
Did they give Slasher his 3K appearance fund, though? Was that part of the 20?
Oh, it's really
me and Devin.
because Cash App did. They also sponsor Bodega Boys, which is another not ad friendly podcast. Like, there's like no what you know.
I also sponsor Joe Rogan. I mean,
Cash App's going for the cool kids. They're not going for the sterile
which
stuff.
I think will be vindicated in business school cases going forward, just because
100% agree.
Like it's just so fucking smart the way they do things.
Cash App is Jack Dorsey. He doesn't give a fuck.
He founded Twitter, bro.
He even uses Twitter and manipulates the algorithm because he knows how to. And I've seen Cash App trending I feel like dozens of times.
They also just give out money.
Things.
Like that's why.
Yeah.
Well, there's the thing is, what's so interesting about Cash App and their kind of thing that they do on Twitch is that they do it. Slasher used the word before, authentically, right? There's a lot of ways to do giveaways and make yourself look like a douche. Where you just attract the lowest common denominator. You know what I mean though?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, whereas Cash App, they come off as being for the people, and everybody goes fucking insane when they show up. It's that and I've had to have a lot of conversations with the head marketer over there. And he really understands exactly what he's doing. He really understands this experience-based marketing. He's very smart.
I mean, who would have thought that during a pandemic where the U.S. government can't get its shit together and give the people in this country any money at all,
Cash App stimulus check, dude.
Everyone would love the brand that literally gives you cash.
Yeah. Jack Dorsey is the most fascinating man alive.
Slasher go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it.
No, I mean,
he does some crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, did you hear about his morning ritual? He walks fucking to the offices, which is 5 miles away from his house.
No, not eat, dude. He doesn't eat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every quarter, he goes on a 10-day Vipassana meditation where he doesn't speak or use any electronics. He's fucking super crazy, dude. He's very eccentric.
I mean, I think if I got that rich, I would also be very eccentric, just to feel something.
Just to feel something.
Because think about it, right? Otherwise, you're hunting men, right? The most dangerous game. That's the other option.
Game. No, I mean, no, because you can end up like Mark Zuckerberg, and he was like an actual robot.
That guy's
he's not real. Elon Musk, same thing.
That is what could happen to you with too much money.
I mean,
I'm convinced that congressional thing where they had Zuckerberg show up wasn't him. It was an AI deepfake. And I think that he was out fishing with that giant caboose he has in that picture.
That dumper,
oh, the
bro.
Fucking, when he was on the board, fucking way past.
Yeah.
Who thought Zuck would come through and save the people with the dumper?
When he's got to run from all these claims, he's got to have a strong glute,
That
man.
shit wasn't fake news, bro.
So speaking about
100%.
the congressional stuff, Slasher, you brought it up. Thankfully, it became the perfect segue.
Hey,
AOC.
It was a perfect segue, fucker.
Listen, it has to go perfect
He
for
did
Slasher.
it right, Bijan. You gotta
respect.
You did it right.
So the AOC hearing today, talking about military, army, advertising to kids on stream, etc. You were very vocal about it for the past couple weeks, couple days.
He was covering it.
I actually kind of started this whole thing, which I'm very proud
Which was
for.
very
I
funny.
also find it hilarious. Yes. Okay. So I have a good buddy named Jordan Ewell, and he's pretty known in left-wing progressive circles. He works for Move On as his actual job, and so lately people have been getting banned from the U.S. Army esports Discord for asking about stupid things in chat. So then Jordan decided to go on the Twitch stream, just like people were going on Discord, and ask people or ask the streamer, "What is your favorite war crime?" But you couldn't do that because it was you couldn't write that in text because it had removed it automatically. So you put war crime with a 4 and a 1.
Oh my God.
And that ended up getting him banned. And he posted this video in an internal chat, and we both thought it was hilarious. And I thought it was really funny. So I asked if I could post it. And I did, and then unintentionally, it got picked up by mainstream media, mainstream news. They spoke about it on TV a little bit, and that got the attention of Congress people, including AOC and the ACLU, who all wanted to see if this was unconstitutional, one, banning people from chat, and then because of the information that people got, that they were actually using these giveaways for recruitment purposes, which really isn't cool, in all
Heinous as
honesty.
fuck.
Yeah.
That is what got the attention of people like AOC and Ilhan. And so our little fucking trolling of talking shit about war crimes to the U.S. Army esports Twitch turned into this weeks-long extravaganza of things happening.
It's like slashers for the people, man.
Slash
That's what
the
I,
people
that's what I
shit.
get from this story. But like,
it wasn't the intention, okay? We thought it was funny. We didn't mean for
it is extremely funny. I mean, like,
He doesn't mean to be
objectively.
the good guy.
I mean, I'm just sad that AOC's amendment or whatever got struck down.
Well, it was
in the House
never
today.
like there
Right,
was
but
no.
like,
That was never going to pass. I mean, the Democrats barely voted
100%.
more for that than against it, and every single Republican voted against it. She tweeted like, how was she supposed to teach Congress people about Twitch? And like,
That's the funniest.
That alone is impossible. And of course, every Republican and even some Democrats are never going to do anything that's regarding demilitarization of
Yeah.
like our country, whether it's like taking military out of schools, which I don't think should be in there either. And look, there really are the U.S. Army, the U.S. Navy, the Air Force, and the National Guard all have major sponsors or partnerships with Twitch directly as a company, esports organizations, and teams all in the last 2 years.
So-
And it's fucking frightening.
Dude, I mean, I think I broke the story with Nick Merckx like dropping his National Guard endorsement, right? Because he was, or because it was like upset, like the National Guard had been deployed, and they were just like he was like if like I did something fucked up, like would I like be able to like stay in this contract? I don't think so. And it's very interesting, but I think it is interesting that like it makes a lot of sense that the military industrial complex recruits where the people are, which is like young 18-year-old men are on Twitch.
I mean,
right?
for
They
the sake of
diverted-
conversation.
They diverted their entire Super Bowl advertising, which is millions of dollars, to YouTube and esports specifically to reach the new digital age. So they're doing exactly as they're intending to do.
Terrifying.
I mean, so then the question. I mean,
Wait, but
go ahead.
Slasher, one question. What is your favorite war crime?
This guy. Slash, he's setting you up. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Slash. You're gonna get canceled. Don't do it. Even Devin squinted right now. He's like, don't do it.
Dude, that's a really good question.
I'm not going to ban you from chat. We can move on.
That is a really good question. I'm
You know-
going to
you know-
use that. I'm going to use that later, I feel like.
You know what's more salacious than that question? Apparently, Voldemort is coming to Slash's life.
Yeah, we should talk about
Keemstar,
it.
Keemstar.
Tell us, what happened? Like, what was the whole deal?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. He who shall not be named.
Yo, Devin, you're not gonna tell this guy to spill the beans? No.
No,
What?
no.
Devin's
That's-
playing Eve. You can see. Look at his
He's
face.
fucking. He's building the ship right now.
He's straight up like.
I
nah.
had to check out during that last conversation, dude. We would have a fight. I strongly disagree with all
Really?
this.
No, you should totally go for
Do
it.
it.
Wait, no, fight. What's going on?
Nah.
What do you disagree with?
You need round 1 right now before we go into round
Yeah,
2.
Yeah.
We're the pre-show.
We're
Remember,
the
like
pre-show for Scuffed, bro.
we gotta hype you up. You gotta get those.
Nah,
juices flowing.
dude. No, miss me with that shit. What I will say is, we rep the U.S. Army out of Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. This is one people that I work with. We just fucking did a whole thing with like the Golden Knights and shit like that. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the benefits that the U.S. Army has to a lot of people. I'm one of the people that like, I don't think. Look, the U.S. Army isn't perfect, and definitely a lot of the concerns that people have are legit. But the other side of it is like, this is one of the only systems we have in America to lift people out of poverty. and actually change classes. That's A, right? And like B is that like, okay, there are 152 MOSs in the Army. Only one of them is frontline infantry. Every single other one is non-combat. Only 1% of the people that join the U.S. Army actually ever pick up a rifle and shoot at someone else. The rest of them are all kinds of things: graphics designers, fucking programmers, software development engineers, intelligence, support staff, people that build shit, right? So there's two takes on this equation. I'm not saying that you like, but I hear a lot of stuff like, oh, like the military industrial contract, like there's two sides of every coin, right? I think that like, I can see the legitimacy of the place where Slasher is coming from on this, and I understand like we need to do some more careful thinking about like how the U.S. Army recruits, particularly among younger demographics. But generally, I'm on the other side of the coin, I would say.
So you think it's fine for them to advertise on Twitch to kids? Well, not. To
I
kids,
didn't say that's a loaded question. That's not
Okay.
that's not at all what I just said.
I mean, it was funny because
I said there are benefits to it. Like
we were. I mean, before the stream, before we even got on with you guys, we were talking about about recruitment and what it means, and like sort of like, you know, what the Army does for people, because it is still like, I mean, it is the biggest socialized medical system in the country. Like I was working on a story for a while, which never got published, about the VA and like the stuff that it does and the stuff that it doesn't do. But it's like, again, like this, it is undeniably good for a lot of people. I mean, I think my concerns come in like further upstream, which is like, if this is the only thing, if this is the only method, like maybe other things are broken. But like, that's an upstream question, and I think I totally see what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about this off stream, like with our
I
PA,
think that's right, but I just think there's a huge chasm. But like, we tend to use this as a shield to demonize the entire military system, and it's like there is one thing where we can have the conversation about how we need to enter, and I don't think I have that answer. That's why I'm not taking that question. Yeah, because I'm not really sure. Like, but what I'm trying to say is like this entire issue is like more complex than just like Army bad, shoot people, like that, and that's like where we end up in this conversation, is that everyone is like, everyone like ends up there, but it's a more complex issue.
Yeah,
than
because
that. Like,
I mean,
there's
it's theory versus praxis. It's like thinking about things versus real life. Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
I think they just have to shift their advertising.
Right. I'm not like anti-military or anything. I am not really. I mean, considering I'm pretty lefty and everything that's happened in this country, I don't love the military action that America has had over the last 15 years. But I'm not like.
Yeah, I don't either.
I understand the grunt who is playing on the Overwatch Army esports team. He really just wants to play. He or she just wants to play Overwatch, and that person isn't recruiting everyone. And I've spoken to a lot of those people who have come to me since this all happened to kind of try to explain their side, that they just want a game. And I feel like that is fair to understand here. But yeah, Devin said, people have like the reactions on both sides are always so extreme. I mean, I personally do lean towards, I find it, you know, kind of scummy given, you know, the situation. But like I've even spoken in interviews, which hasn't really, like this side hasn't been spoken. If the Air Force and the U.S. Army were to sponsor anything in the world, why wouldn't they sponsor the Call of Duty tournament? Where you actually,
that's perfect marriage right there.
I mean, it's better than them like sponsoring like the NFL or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it makes kind of sense, I guess.
Yeah.
If it is for a shooting video game, where it's not totally unrelated.
So do you think that the advertising that they use, you know, like you said, like the image of like Devin said, the image of the military is like shoot people, we're gonna go fuck shit up, whatever, right? And as Devin said, there's so many different positions in the military across the board, whether it be engineers, photographers, etc. Do they need to do more of that in the marketing? Because I don't see that much. Like you'll get a little bit of that, but it's never sold like OD on it.
I could speak directly to this, right? Because this is actually the problem that my agency is trying to solve. Is like, okay, how do we change the narrative of the military to not just be like Navy SEALs coming out of your toilet seat, fucking like go, fucking shit like that? Yeah, like that kind of thing is
fucking jumping out. Do it.
Yeah. Go. Yeah, like, you know, like how do we change that narrative to like making like a more, because I one of the things that they had me do, like, and I kind of volunteered to do, was I would go to the bases and I would go to all of these get-togethers and I would talk to people within the military. And one of the things that surprised me, because I had that perception of like what the fuck are you doing? Like, get up, up, Sergeant? Like type of thing. And I was so surprised by how many people they were like, yeah, I was like kind of stuck in a backwater town, didn't really have anything to do. I came out, I became a software development engineer in the Army. I went to school, I got out of it. Like it worked out for me. And you get the other story too, which is like, you know, I had like a legitimately tough time. Like I went overseas. It wasn't good for me. Like there's both sides of it. But again, like it's a complex issue. I think that the Army is starting to really think about, especially post-COVID, because such a huge percentage of Army recruiting was physical. It was door to door, man. Do you want to join the Army? No. Do you want to join the Army? No. Do you want to join the Army? Yes. Okay. Like, right? Like that's the whole thing. And now it's like, okay, we need to actually change the messaging to make the Army accessible again to people. And part of that might actually be shaping the Army up so it's not such a combat-focused type of thing, and providing like who comes in after the fucking hurricanes? The fucking Army engineers, right? Like there's all kinds of jobs in there that story isn't being told. And I think that's a really interesting problem to solve.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I always wanted to be in the Army band. I was like, if I ever got drafted, I'd be like, yeah, I play the oboe in this shit. Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
I got a whole bunch of family members in the military. My cousin's the first female Puerto Rican master sergeant in the Air Force or some stuff like that.
Dude.
Nice.
I got a whole bunch of relatives in there, and like they're like, oh yeah, you gonna join the Navy? Dude, I'm like, dude, if I have to cut my fucking hair every day, I'm not doing it. Like, get rid of that stupid ass clause. Like, I'm not pulling up to any type of situation. Let's say I'm part of the combat squad, where I'm infantry, right? I'm entry. I'm fragging. Like, I'm not going to be like, yo, this smooth-faced guy, I'm scared of him. No, I want someone dirty, raggedy, fucking hair all over the place.
Well, there's a lot of literature about what it means when like the paramilitary stuff when people come back. There's a whole thing about it.
I mean, like, I get it, like
separate.
the boot camp side of things where it's like, oh, we're going to like break you and this is like to give you discipline and to teach you how to do this, to do that. I'm like, dude, just like change how you recruit people. Like, let people have tattoos. Let people fucking have whatever hair they want. Like, people today want maximum freedom in what they do and how they express themselves. Yeah. The military is not equipped to do that.
Freedom while they're shooting the enemy.
I also
I'm just saying,
they want to fly through the air and be like,
if you join special forces, you don't have to cut your hair. Just saying.
That's true. That's true. But I ain't gonna make it through buds. That's not happening.
You can keep the beard and everything.
I think what we're circling around is like the military is like an extremely class-based issue in American life. It's like as you said, it's like it's a way for people to get out of poverty or like move classes, like actually. And there are like no other ways to do that anymore. I mean, aside from like being a professional gamer. Cheers. But it's one of those things that's like it's interesting and a very difficult problem to solve, and like points to a lot of like other issues in American life. But I wouldn't be mad if we like socialized the rest of the country's healthcare. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be mad if we like implemented that whole model, because it's already in place in a lot of places. Like
the Yang Gang.
Hey,
Devin Nash Yang Gang.
Wait, so are we gonna talk about Keemstar or not? Or are we just bugging
Nah,
here?
he went over that. He didn't care about it anymore.
No? Okay.
He was building us up in the pre-call, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some juice. I'm gonna give you a nice headline for the video. Brought it up, nah, not doing it.
No, I think our headline is Devin telling me it's like a shitty answer.
It's a shitty. No, that's a good one. So then,
I think that's it.
I mean, you guys got scuff coming up soon. Don't want to take up that much more of your time, but I have.
But should we ask?
Oh, the Clout question. I got two questions.
Well,
actually.
I mean, I was gonna ask about Doc, but you should ask about Clout.
Keep going. I mean, Train has this up. I don't know.
Okay, so
no,
then,
he's not ready yet.
So we have three questions then.
We have 3 questions.
That could probably fucking flesh out another hour or so.
3 hours till we start.
So then the question. Okay. Do we really ask him? He avoided the Keemstar shit. Is he gonna like talk a little bit
Slasher
about the Doc situation?
Slasher, tell us about Doc. What can you say?
What can you say legally?
What can you say?
By the way, if anybody comes for Slasher, you gotta get through me first. I'm putting that out there.
He's
I got
huge.
this man's fucking back.
He's fucking huge.
Devin, where you going? Get back here. He wrote this sketch before he came in. That was gonna be his move.
Yo, that improv is paying off.
Yo, it is. He actually inspired me to take a few improv classes. Oh, he didn't actually go down.
It's so good.
Dude,
it's so
Devin,
good, man.
I did one improv class because I used to be on Vice News on HBO, and they made us do an improv class. And our Middle Eastern correspondent walked the fuck out of the room. He was like, I don't have time for this.
Whoa.
Devin saving fucking Slasher from answering the goddamn question. Slasher.
I actually think, damn, look at this press, dude. I tried, Slasher. I got you.
Yo, whatever, man.
You guys want to talk about the Army some more?
No, I mean, actually, Slasher, we're good. We had a conversation earlier.
You know what? Fine. He didn't tell us anything.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, let's go.
I'll break the Doc news.
Break the news.
Please tell me, Devin.
All right. It turns out the entire reason that he was banned. was because he's not a real doctor.
This fucking guy.
And then Twitch found out.
He put the
and
period
that's
in
not
his name,
something-
didn't he? He
Y-
fucking
he
put
did.
the period in his name.
And you can't do that.
Can't
You
do that.
can't say you're a doctor and then not be a doctor. He's banned. That's it. That's the end.
Yo,
Not-
please,
never coming back.
Please,
You know what makes
please,
sense
I
to me?
Slasher.
cannot believe this.
Please,
Malpractice.
Slasher,
I can't
save
believe
us.
this.
So wait,
Save
he
us
wasn't a
from-
doctor,
Here-
but he got
here-
banned from
you want-
malpractice?
You want me to tell you something fucking crazy? I'll tell you something fucking crazy.
Okay, here we go.
This way for so long, and you just come on
Tweeted it out.
and you fucking tweet it out and tell people.
If here's the crazy thing about Doc, okay? The only person I
guys.
think in the world who is actually ever going to break this story, if anyone can, is Slasher.
Yeah,
And,
I think
and
that's
if
true.
not, it gets lost to time. He's the only one. He's everything is on him. If he can't do it, no one can.
So Slasher,
no one.
just
You know how I'll relate it? I'll say my tweet 3 weeks ago saying that due to like it being sensitive,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. I can't say right now.
tell the real
is
reason.
is way worse than anything that Keemstar has been tweeting about. This
Okay.
that I should have just shut
The
the fuck up. Should have just shut the fuck up.
Wait,
And
so you're
I
saying
I
never-
deserve all of the memes, all of the copy pastas from ever now after. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
never
don't-
tweet,
I
bro.
don't
Never
mind.
tweet.
So you don't have to say why won't you break the story? Like, what is your biggest fear? Because you're the guy. Your Sir leaks a lot. You don't give a fuck. You can't be bought. You can't be.
Oh no, Keemstar's
Period.
in the chat.
Keemstar's in chat.
That's what Paul, our boss,
Oh,
just texted us.
shit. Anyway, there you go.
You know, the hardest thing.
Hey, Keem, if
has-
you want to come on the podcast and explain yourself, please don't.
let's
I'm
not-
out if you do. Dead serious.
He's dead
Yeah.
out.
100%.
I said
Yeah.
please. I said please don't. Continue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Slasher.
Really, still one of the hardest things has been getting a publication to back me as a freelancer. Not only has, like, in general, this story really difficult to get someone to back me because most freelancer causes do not include indemnity, which includes the lawyer that I need for the story. But because of COVID, every freelance budget is almost like
That's
out
true.
the window. So it's even been harder. Even I know the story is huge.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, I know everyone thinks online media is a huge, incredible, amazing business that doesn't have any problems. But, you know, a lot of websites and publications aren't doing too well, and they're not making money, even though traffic is way up.
Traffic is
Advertising
way
is
up.
way down.
Yeah.
And no one's making any money unless you're named Facebook or Apple or Amazon, as
Would-
we saw today.
Would this be the
Um,
biggest story of your life if you did break it?
I mean, at this point, probably, yeah.
It's a pretty
Probably
big
by a
story.
good mark,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think so.
The
Like,
cost
as-
might be too high.
As another
honestly.
journalist,
Yeah,
as
I
another journalist,
actually
yeah,
am
from-
here. Not only am I gonna get sued, but I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah. This is different shit than like other stuff. This is different. It's all different.
Okay.
It's really different.
Yo, I mean,
Okay.
look, Slasher. So this is to any editors who are in our chat right now. Hit up Slasher, get the story. give
Please
your
cut this
publication
in a way
fucking
that we can
glory.
pretend that he actually leaked it.
But no, I mean, like, honestly, like, you know, you're absolutely right. Because, like,
Yeah.
I, as a person who works in digital media, it's like we are like struggling as an industry in a way that hasn't actually happened since the 2008 recession. Like, that also decimated a bunch of publications. But it's
Dude,
one
if
of those.
this was some PR thing or him moving to another platform, as I've already explained a few times, I would have let everybody know. Everyone
Yeah.
would have known if he was going fucking like
Yeah.
YouTube or some shit, which was
Yo, fucking
that-
Keemstar's
that-
begging to join.
Wait, Keemstar's
He's
begging,
begging to
to
join you
Nah.
guys.
No, we can't do that to our producer.
Nah.
Because do you remember how long it took to do this stream anyway? In the
It took
beginning,
like 20 fucking minutes just to
nah.
get it set up.
Absolutely not.
He didn't
But any-
take the fight on the Scuff podcast. He won't take it here.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Keemstar
shit.
Wow.
did maybe a minute and a half, maybe a minute with Destiny on the
Yeah.
stuff,
I mean,
and then peaced out
Mhm.
pretty quickly.
Also, you guys had
look,
him in Scuff. He just dipped. He just
We're very nice people, but we are also very busy people. No, but like, so we were talking about Clout. There's a
Yeah,
question about
so
Clout.
I have a theory, right? That
Yeah,
I-
like, oh, do you wanna?
Oh no,
I-
this is a joke. This is
it's a joke and it's
toward-
also a theory at the same
so
time.
if we
right?
look at the scale between serious shit like talking about the army and memes,
Yeah,
this is
this
memes
is pure
and not
meme.
army.
This is fucking improv. So, with the whole, so the question is, right? I said that you should not date anybody until your clout peaks.
Until your clout peaks.
Until your clout peaks, right? And I think that Slasher, you're at the peak of your clout right now. Like, everybody's trying to get something out of you. Like, you got the deets. Devin Nash is certainly on the rise of his peak. I think, Devin, you might be married. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, after the past few hours,
I'm in a dedicated relationship.
He's in a dedicated
few hours, that could be.
He's got the kettle, bro.
Nose diving for me right now, just going into the ground, which is it's just fine. It's fine. But look, in a real answer, there's been so many people that have been like, and I think I understand where they're coming from, accusing me of saying what I am for clout purposes and not giving information on the doc, so people are always like have to follow me. That is extremely stupid to me. For me to get more notoriety and to really do what I want to would be to release the information in the first place. That would get me more attention. Me not doing this is not a way for me to get clout. All I'm doing is pissing people off and annoying people. That is not helping me. I understand that is not.
It is not helping you, but it is admirable. Like, as a fellow journalist,
as a fellow
scribe, my man.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, guys. Bijan got this.
Look, he actually sprinting, bro. He's sprinting out of here.
It's very fast. He's
I know.
Incredibly fast.
He's actually, like, I have to say, Gabe is huge. Like, he was working out immediately before this. Anyway.
Where huge?
Like, all of his body. I don't know. I was just like, when he was like, yeah, if Guy B wants to get to Slasher, he's got to go through me first. I was like, that's serious, man. I've seen both of them. It's serious, bro. But y'all, so, like, I've been left adrift. So wait,
You're doing great.
I know I am. No, but I'm curious. Huh? Go on.
No, keep going.
No, I was gonna ask you questions about, like, about how you got here and, like, I don't know, what do you like. So, oh man, I had a lot of questions.
You two did have a question about clout that wasn't about me.
It was about like sort of reflected clout. It was about, like, people chasing clout by commenting on the Joe Rogan video, and, like,
that's right.
Like, I don't know. I guess basically a referendum on sort of the drama channels and the fucking commentary channels.
I mean, look, Keemstar is in. If he's still in the chat now, he knows all about this. If there isn't drama, you manufacture drama because it just increases the conversation going all the time. Like, Keemstar and H3H3 were fighting for like 2 weeks. I don't think either of them lost. Like, if both of them made like 18 content nukes and videos and 1,000 tweets against each other, I'm pretty sure both of their viewerships went up. Both of their subscribers went up, and both of them got tons of viewers. No one actually cares at a certain point, and it's
sort of a virtuous cycle, right? Like,
it is.
The cloud
you can deal with the negativity.
Nothing.
If you can deal with the negativity, then, like, all of this actually just makes you more popular, right? Like, you can't actually cancel someone unless they cancel themselves.
Really?
This is 100% something I think a ton about. Unless you get deplatformed.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, unless you get deplatformed, as long as you, like understand the game and you manufacture the drama and you go back and forth and you engage with it, you can only get bigger. Like, you can't, like all the, like, hate comments and all that stuff, if you can absorb it. A lot of people can't. They cancel themselves.
Yeah.
But if you can absorb it, you can handle it, then you just get more popular.
Yeah, but
I mean, like, I'm getting used to. I've been getting shit talked on the internet for like almost 20 years now. So I mean, it's fine.
It gets easier, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna get into fucking things here and there, and it's
things here and there.
Yeah, I mean,
things here and there.
As long as you're not doing anything criminal, and as long as you didn't do like anything like really serious that is quote unquote cancelable, then everything else on the internet is just kind of not. I wouldn't say everything is drama, but as long as you can just handle people saying mean things to you or making a mean video about you, it's not a big deal in the end, really. And you see examples like, dude, Pokey made and like the things around Pokey. We'll probably talk about tonight.
Leafy just dropped the freaking video content bomb.
Wait, so
that is how I got into this. Can
you back up a little bit? Because I saw her trending on Twitter today, and I was like, what was going on? Because I was mostly offline because I was fucking busy.
So basically, Pokey did one bad thing, which admittedly is pretty bad, and that has caused a guy made a video criticizing her maybe a month and a half ago, and she like told people to leave like dislikes on it or whatever, and the entire YouTube commentary community, which includes like Keemstar and a lot of other people, took this as like an attack on all of YouTube and all of YouTube creators, and Pokimane using her powers to DMCA people and take footage down, and it has caused a cascade of, like, because she fought back against criticism, it only caused more people to criticize her.
Well,
so Leafy then did a video, and
that's what it was.
That's what I was playing earlier.
That is how I got into the Keemstar thing. I made a joke about Leafy's video, and then everything.
Yeah, for you?
I mean, everything is the same thing online, which I do appreciate because it's easy to keep up. But yeah, it is funny because like this is also the question, I guess, in comedy of like punching down, right? Like, is it punching down if Pokimane is like, oh, go dislike this video, like fuck this guy? If you're like, but like I think one of the interesting things about the internet and influencer culture is how everyone has become a public figure, even if you're not that famous, objectively speaking. And so like you have to abide by the rules of a famous person, even if you are not yourself famous, which is to say when Pokimane is like, hey, fuck you, like because her feelings are hurt, like it's an attack on the entire YouTube community.
She has to say it on her burner Twitter. She can't say
like
it on
you
her
can't.
main
You gotta
Twitter.
you gotta have an alt. But it's like I think it is one of the like weird injustices of online that like all of us are like kind of public figures no matter what. And it's like I don't personally don't have the fucking clout or whatever to even like to have to like if somebody comes after me online, I'm just like.
Whatever.
That sucks, but I also have to now consider like, am I gonna lose my employment or whatever if I like say some fucking shit, like.
Yo, so then in the vein of what? Go ahead.
It's like, look, if someone made like a content cop about me for 25 minutes on YouTube, or did like a 30-minute stream, which some people like, I've had wars with people to do that. I would like, me responding to that is not about really keeping like my reputation or whatever. It's just whether I want to keep the feud internet traffic machine going, entertainment thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Like they make a video and then I make a tweet, a response to video, and then they make a reply, and then I make a reply.
Keeps it going.
Are any of us actually affecting how people view us?
No, but
everyone probably thinks that we're just assholes in the very end. Not because of the specifics, but just because we're talking shit to each other.
You're farming it.
I have to say, a friend of mine, his name is Jeremy Gordon. He wrote this piece for the New York Times Magazine like 3 years ago, saying everything is professional wrestling now and applying the concept of kayfabe to the internet. And I was like, yo, this is it.
Yeah, can't break kayfabe, bro. You can't break kayfabe.
This is it. That's what you're talking about. We're talking about kayfabe.
So then how do you guys, in the vein of what we're saying on Twitter, right, with these people who you have to micromanage your life essentially because like, yo, I have to be like super careful. You got people who will go all the way back into your tweets or whatever just to find a little smudge on your resume. How do you guys feel about the alt Twitter accounts? Because like Pokimane has one, Valkyrie has them. There's a whole bunch of other people who have alt Twitter accounts that are also like really popular. They have almost as many followers as their main accounts.
I think it's fucking really stupid. Like I understand why they're doing it. I think it's smart if you need a second Twitter account to get you a lot of engagement, if you want to like retweet the other one or like help each other out. But in general, how are you going to have like this quote unquote like all hidden account with 300,000 followers or whatever?
Yeah,
I understand you're not on your main with 1.2 million, but you've now created an alt and there's still 100,000 people on it. Like, how much is this really supposed to be like your free account where you're able to freely say whatever you want? It doesn't fucking matter.
It's a brand building exercise.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think I actually am against alt accounts only because you will fuck up and you will tweet from main. Like, that's like, if you were actually using an alt, right? Unfortunate. If you're using an alt correctly, you're gonna be fucked up at the club. Be like, yeah, fuck this guy, and it's like.
Yeah, you put it on the wrong account.
That was the wrong account, bro.
I feel like
go ahead, Slasher.
It's better for business. Like if you make your alt account and you just shit post on there all day, and then you keep your main for ad placement or promoting your Twitch or YouTube content, then I guess that kind of makes sense.
Devin, how you feel about that? Is that technically track?
I don't care.
You don't care. He just doesn't give a shit about that. He's just like,
yo, this man is a stream professor. He's sitting here like, no, I'm grading papers, playing Eve.
He's like, I gotta get ready for this motherfucking stream in a couple bit.
Yeah.
I think that kind of covers like everything.
Yeah, we got. I mean, you guys literally covered everything.
Yeah,
I
didn't get to like not even 20% of the Devin Nash questions, but we've been going for a minute anyway.
Come on, keep Devin, we have time.
Okay. All right. I mean, matter of fact, I did have a question.
Guys, I gotta say, I have to piss.
All right, go ahead.
Dignified.
I'll take it.
Very dignifiedly.
You gonna walk off?
I'm walking, bro.
He's walking
I'm
off
walking
right now.
here.
So then, the question I'm gonna ask you two guys, right? It's like this is just slightly go back just for the sake of the question. So like Joe Rogan saying video games is a waste of time. Everybody came out, defended it, blah, 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 blah. If you guys weren't working in gaming, and you both work in gaming in two different ways, right? Rod, you're a journalist, you're a reporter. Devin, you work as a CMO, Nerve Fusion, do a whole bunch of stuff, brand work, and you also are a part-time streamer. Would you guys not be, what else would you do besides this if this wasn't an option? Anyone
Like live in an ashram and not engage with the internet or social media.
What the fuck is an ashram?
It's a place where you go and meditate with other monks and
Oh, really?
This monk
detach
shit.
yourself.
Dude.
Detach yourself
Green
from
tea
the
ceremony?
I'm a really devout Buddhist.
Really?
So like a practicing.
Talk with Joe Rogan.
What I should talk with Joe Rogan.
Devin should talk with
Hit him
I've
with
done
the
enough
DMT.
Like 100% we could have that conversation, dude. Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Slasher?
Before I came to the world of video games, when you know it, I was in the metal scene. And the metal scene growing up for me was like, I loved not like popular metal, like new metal, like fuck that new metal pussy bullshit.
I love that you're into metal, man.
I like extreme black and death metal, which growing up was just as underground as esports. So I spent so much time trying to make like metal mainstream first, and then I decided, okay, this is actually going to be this is harder than making esports mainstream. So like I used to write about metal. I used to go to like tons of festivals and shows and interview bands, and yeah, I remember seeing Opeth in 2003. Right after Damnation came out, and they played Demon of the Fall, and they played like all of what is the album on? Was it Orchid, I think?
Yep.
And dude, that show was really good. Like now, Opeth is around. I know we're way off topic, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They've released so much acoustic stuff lately, and they've released a ton of like more mild stuff and a lot less death metal, and it's still really good. It's just not old Opeth when they were like really like Swedish death metal guys. So I would probably go back to my music.
Metal roots.
You metal roots.
Yeah.
Right for
I feel,
Pitchfork.
dude, the more time I spend on the internet, the more I know that like at some point I really just want to disconnect, you know? Like
Really?
it feels like things are just like kind of getting worse and more fast paced and everything.
Right.
What was that moment for you?
And I vibe with what's that?
What was that moment for you? You were like, this is just becoming a little bit too overwhelming to deal with.
2020 has been pretty bad, man.
Yeah.
Like, and not just from the sense of like the world, but also I think just people are I don't know. I think a lot of it's lost their way. It's a lot longer conversation. I vibe with Slasher super hard on the metal shit, dude. I listen to like epic fantasy metal, Blind Guardian, like LUVite. Like I love that shit. That's
really?
The
yeah,
Buddhist
dude. I'm a
listens to
huge metal fan. Like, fuck
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I've listened to like a shitload of Nightwish. My brother helped Nightwish move out of their apartment when they were like super small before they were like really huge. I love
Slasher's
metal,
getting
dude.
excited, man. He's standing up a little bit more.
One of the only times I almost died at a metal concert, and I've been to Slayer, and I've been to like Cannibal Corpse,
Anthrax.
big festivals, yeah, but they're kind of pussy shit compared.
What did I just come back
Well,
to?
we're talking about what they would do if they weren't in gaming right now.
And
I
it's
was
metal
in
music.
Well, Slasher would be metal.
But at this Nightwish show, these fucking fangirls literally broke the barrier behind me, and I was in the photo pit, and they fucking slammed it down right after I like got out of the way. I almost died at Nightwish. I never
From a
would've-
group of
I-
fangirls, you almost got trampled. The end of Slasher.
Dude,
So
I have
Nightwish is power metal, okay?
yeah.
Power
Yeah.
metal.
If Slasher
Yeah,
got killed
man.
by e-girls,
It's
I would be
just-
so...
Power metal
Dude.
has all the e-girls. Death metal and black metal are all
Slasher.
the
Were you at BlizzCon 2015 with Metallica?
Yeah.
Oh my
sure.
god, dude, that was probably the best metal crossover because you've got half and half, okay? Like, so Metallica put on this fucking epic show at BlizzCon. Like, they just like brought down the house. And there was two groups of people, okay? There's like the nerds that go to BlizzCon, and then there's the dudes that are like follow Metallica around for the past 30 years. And like
They don't stop.
that just fucking clash. It was so good, dude. There was like a fucking war. Like I watched a fucking nerd that was like this skinny just get uppercutted by like a biker dude. I was like, holy shit. This stuff is fucking insane, dude. It was unreal, man. It was
See,
it was
now
legit.
that is gaming hitting the mainstream.
Yeah.
So, matter of
It was a
fact,
hell of a show.
you're probably both of you gonna judge me for this, right? How do you guys feel about Tool?
Amazing. I love Tool.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
I think Tool is I think like visionary, man, in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maynard.
Slasher back. That's some
Maynard is a
pushy
vis-
shit.
yeah,
Gabe,
He really
almost,
is.
yeah,
It's
Maynard,
so good.
the Reverend, yeah.
Maynard
Gabe,
James Keenan.
it almost surprises me that you're a metal fan.
Oh, I mean, I listen to every literally form of music.
I mean, yeah,
period.
I
Like
know.
the best album you guys will ever listen to, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, right? And it's not a metal album; it's just the best album period that's ever been made. If you look up "Tropical Tribute to the Beatles," which is a salsa album of all the Beatles hits with
That
all the
sounds
legendary salsa heads,
sick.
Tito Fuentes, Celia Cruz, all those people. Yo, you cannot be mad to that album. That album will literally make you fucking jump out your pants. It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on listening to that goddamn album.
The
But-
fuck?
I'm telling you, I'm
salsa
telling
mixes of the
dude, you
Beatles,
be feeling the
though?
moves, you be hearing the fucking ta 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 ta. It's like it's there. But Devin, first of all, how'd you even get to Buddhism? Because I found Buddhism or
going
Zen
deep, huh?
Buddhism from like watching like Alan Watts stuff, right? And I got really interested.
I
in
love
that
Alan
through him.
Watts. Yeah.
Like,
When I was a kid, my parents thought it was like really important to get me introduced to every major world religion because they thought that the foundation
Really?
of a lot of the way that we think about things, like Western and Eastern thought, is based in those.
It's
And I
true.
hated it when I was a kid. Like I had to go to like all these camps. Like I went to like Bible camp. I went to I did all that shit, right? Like I ended up like having I ended up studying it, and I would have like teachers about it and everything. And it just Buddhism made the most sense to me after I read the Polycanon and the long, short, and medium discourses. I decided to go after it, and it's been like a huge part of my life ever since. And like I've gone around the world, I've interacted with a lot of monks about it. I very much agree with the discipline. I'm not a Zen Buddhist, although I think that I'm what's called I'm a Theravada Buddhist, but I think that Zen Buddhism is like has some really good lessons, and I vibe with Alan Watts like super hard.
yo, fucking Slasher looks like Alan Watts when he's young right
Slasher's hair
Yeah,
got,
dude.
his hair got thicker somehow. Yeah, I mean,
I need some of that Zen Buddhism shit.
now. You gotta relax so you're not so edgy on Twitter
it's me.
anymore. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because it's like as we hit the media now and everything is so available, it's like all these old world things are like coming to light. Like I found Alan Watts via YouTube recommend. Like I didn't look for Alan Watts.
Yeah,
It was just
he has
like
some great
boom.
stuff on there.
but
Yeah.
it makes sense.
His whole old show on PBS is all in there.
It makes sense because like the internet is like it is the eternal present, which means that everything is being surfaced. Like I've said this for a long time, but the only way that you can tell time online is to look at the UI changes. Like you can tell an era of like Instagram, Twitter, etc. by like what the screenshots look like. But it's funny because like it's the same phenomenon that surfaces like the same tweet every like 6 months is the same one that surfaces Alan Watts and the PBS show and like Zen Buddhism to a new generation of people. It's very
Yeah.
fucking cool, man. Like I don't know. I mean, for all of the bad things in the world that are beamed into my eyes at like light speed 24/7, like there are some good things.
Dude, the internet was for connecting people and sharing information and learning information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And instead,
That's what a Slasher do.
It's not.
virus isn't real. And
No, it's not
5G
insane. This is-
caused it.
This is the
Cancer.
problem with it. The
And
problem.
QAnon is actually manipulating the country.
So the problem is like people didn't think they didn't think about the ramifications of instant frictionless connection with other minds. Like that's the whole thing. And Devin's fucking gone.
Of course, yeah, he's gonna get more Thai food.
But no, but like seriously, it's like
I
the
think he
idea
did.
that like instantly frictionlessly connecting to other people would be a universal good is an insane thing to think. That is totally fucking crazy.
I wish you like had to do mushrooms to get on the internet.
Yeah, or any psychedelic. Right?
What? I just kidding.
Yo, this man was like, hold up, what?
Because like
Some
Man.
people want to like eliminate being anonymous. I just want people to do mushrooms to have an entry point.
I just want
Before you're allowed to make that next YouTube comment, you have to take a cat.
I just want
You
people.
have to get an eighth real quick in your blood.
I
Of
just want
gold.
people to care about each other. I mean, it's like that's the other thing. It's like the architectures that we built online do not incentivize you to care about other people or even think about other people.
Yeah.
Like when you leave a comment, when you like do any sort of posting, it's not incentivized to think about the other person as a human being. I watch a lot of anime, and I just finished Mob Psycho 100.
Nice.
And I was just like, oh, that whole thing is just about like how hard it is to be a good person in a world that's shitty. And I was like, damn, I relate. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think instant frictionless connection is a very, it's a difficult thing that we have been tasked with living with.
We've only had like a fucking like
20 years?
less than 50. Yeah, it's like it's such an insanely short amount
Oh,
of
it's
time in
so
human
short.
history especially like considering that we were already fucked by like great cities and metropolises and stuff like that was already like a huge hit to the system, because if you read like Seth Godin.
Yep.
Like reading and writing. Yeah. That's like a whole nother thing too. But like if you read like Seth Godin, like Tribes or Sapiens or any of those, it's like we like evolved to be in groups of like 120 to 150 people. And that's like a lot of the kind of crossover we have, like fear of public speaking, for example, right? It's like when the reason why most people have like an inherent fear of public speaking is like when you public spoke in the before age, right?
Like
you had to do it. You did it in front. You were justifying why you shouldn't get kicked out of a tribe and fucking die.
Yeah.
I mean, evolutionary psychology,
and that's in your fucking genes. Those fucking
exactly. That's in your amygdala, dude. So that those fear responses they come up, and it's like nowadays, like the amount of like unprecedented hate on the internet or negativity or like the news, the constant dopamine hits, all and like the fucking companies that are hiring people full time to get to just think about how you use these platforms and how you engage with it so that they can better like get you set up with that. It's crazy shit, man. It's really, really hard to deal with for like a brain.
I do have a question actually, and it's sort of related. It's not really related. It's sort of related. But like I
have a related question.
I've noticed like I mean there's a fetish among influencers and people who are very popular of saying like of the ideas of raising awareness and positivity, and I hate it so much, and I can articulate sort of why, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on like the phenomenon of both raising awareness, positivity, and like the idea that you can do anything if you're passionate about it. Because those three things are linked, and they are maybe
you can do anything if you're passionate. They're
the reason. They're a lot of the reason that so many things are bad online. They're symptoms of the cause.
I mean, it's just like everybody saw Booga won the World Cup last year, and they think they could be Fortnite pros too. It's a.
But
sorry,
like, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Since we have you captive here on our stream.
I mean, they're
so I mean, is your question like, what do we think about the fact that like if you can set your mind to it, you can or the expectation that.
Yeah,
if you set your mind to something, you can accomplish it.
No, I guess I'm salty about the concepts of like, about like the emptiness of raising awareness online, because especially in the context of like Black Lives Matter and like the whole there's a whole protest movement happening right now. There's like a new civil rights movement happening right now, and people are still posting black squares on Instagram, and I'm just like.
So wait, do you mean that raising awareness is empty? Like it's not actual? That's what you meant?
Yes.
Okay.
And like the
well, that's corporate awareness. It's like for every one of those, there was people that were actually putting themselves on the line and they were out there protesting 100%. And shit like that, or they were donating money and things like that. I think that the thing to remember back this because you're right, this does tie into our previous conversation. Culture moves very slowly. Culture moves very slowly. Like the idea of changing, like this is one of the things that I advocate for a lot is like women equality in gaming, which I think is one of our biggest problems. And like if you want that to change, or if you want like the BLM movement, I think as much as there was a little bit of that pandering to like, hey, like we like African Americans, we like black people too, like here's our black square, right? You also had people out on the streets like really fighting in an unprecedented way for it, and the only way that I was out on the streets, I was doing it, like I ran a stream about it. I went to Seattle Chop, right? Like I did like a live stream from there, like I had the whole thing, and like our corporation came behind it and everything. Like I think the only way to actually bring awareness to these issues is to discuss it, and like I would rather.
Who is not aware is my question. Like, who is not aware?
There are different levels of awareness, right?
Okay, that's fair.
And there's different levels of advocation. And I think what George Floyd did, like, was really, really make people aware that there is a serious problem in this and a serious inequality in this country.
You know what's actually, I think the more interesting question, re George Floyd, is, you know, like I feel like a lot of this stuff is building on 2014. And Michael Brown and Ferguson, because that was the architecture. But like those Ferguson protests, they were mostly black, but like they happened, and now it's like there's something fucking changed, and I don't know what it is.
I think it is the consistent evolution of the internet and social media. It was huge before, but now, you know, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and now TikTok are bigger than like ever before. Like Twitter alone is massive comparatively to the days of Ferguson. So everything is amplified so much now. In terms of what people see. And
I guess what I'm asking is like more subjective, which is like how did we make that shift? Like how did that shift happen where it's like it's now like it's more brand safe to say Black Lives Matter than it is to not. and that's like never been the case in American history before. That is so fucking new, and it is mind-boggling to me.
Because the country is so divided right now. One, by the president, and two, just in general. It's not like it's just Trump, but the country has been generally divided like this for, it feels like, the last few presidents, 10, 20 years, especially just a lot of things happening that have made it this way. And it has just made a lot of people, especially given the circumstances, it has made the left, because, well, let's be real here, most people on the right or conservatives are not the ones supporting Black Lives Matter. So it has kind of some maybe united a lot of left or center people or people into human rights around this subject, given the context of Trump being in office and people just hating Republicans or whatever. And like all of the political ties are assisting the like actual effort, which is not inherently a political thing. Black people not being killed by the cops is not political. Of course, there is politics
it is
involved.
Political, but it's you're right. There's a correct set of politics here.
Yes, it's just people like, everything is related to politics in some way, but a lot of it becomes performative for even the people in Congress who are talking about XYZ issue, not because they care about what is happening, but much like companies want to make money, and people in Congress want to get elected again. And neither of those two things really mean that they care about the thing that they are saying.
They just have to do it.
They are like, right now, it is better business to support Black Lives Matter than it was before.
Which is like, again, and this is the shift that I'm very interested in, because I think this actually, like, my theory is this is actually different. Like, the fact that there are so many white people in these videos of police brutality now is like insane to me. And I think it's a really good sign. Also, this is way off fucking topic.
Oh no, it's a good conversation
I'm like,
to have.
Whew. But I don't know. I think I mean, Devin, I'm glad to hear that you went to the chop and you're fucking.
Devin was fucking out there, bro.
Yeah, and your company.
I was,
supported
yeah.
it. Like, that's amazing.
I was in tear gas. I was like the whole nine, dude. I went to protest every weekend in Seattle, like the whole fucking nine. I really I think that it, and also we were part of the Scuff podcast. Train and I raised fuck man, what was it, $35,000 for Color of Change?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yep. And like we did a big setup for that. Like I realized, this is actually kind of a highly personal story, but
go ahead.
I realized I was sitting around like really fucking depressed. Because like at this point, like kind of like just after the George Floyd thing and COVID and everything, I was like, fuck, like the world is so fucked. And it's like, as one person, I just feel completely overwhelmed that I just have no ability to influence any of this. And then I realized, I'm like, fuck, all those other people are out there, every one of them. And like they don't necessarily have a platform like I do, or they like, it doesn't matter. Like they're out there, and it's like, fuck, if I do want to change anything, I have to be that one person that goes and does it. I can't be this doomer in my basement saying everything fucking sucks and just being another one of those number. And then when I actually came out and I started going to the protest every weekend, I started streaming it, I started talking about it, I felt so much better. I had so much more confidence because I actually felt like I was being a part of that change, no matter how small of a ripple in the pond I was.
You know what's funny? I did a charity stream. I think we raised like $23,000. I'm like a nobody streamer, by the way. And like it was funny because like before the stream, my friend who like produced late night television for Colbert for like 10 years was just like, yo man, like this is it. This is our dumbass superpower. This is the one thing that we can do that other people can't do. And it's funny because there's a difference between like doing something like a charity stream and raising awareness. And it's funny because the line shifts very like, the line is very fluid. It feels like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm off base here, but it feels like the difference between posting something about raising awareness and like affecting somebody, and also the difference between like raising money for direct action is like very porous. I don't know.
Well, I mean, people scrutinize what other people do very often. I mean, I've seen an entire thread of from Black streamers and creators that made like a thread about how certain streamers only raise awareness for like St. Jude's, and if they really cared about charity, they would give to local charities, which I think inherently isn't wrong. I do think people are like a bunch of things are happening. You do have companies and people who don't really care about the issue or who don't know about the issue who are using it to be performative and to say and do things that they don't really know, or they're not really trying,
Or they don't
or
really
they're not
mean.
really putting in the effort to try to make the change that is happening. And you have people that are trying to critique and nitpick what every other person and entity is doing. And if they don't do it perfectly in their eyes, they make it seem like you're not really part of the cause and you're not a real ally, and what you are doing is performative and it's not real. So you have people who are trying to be real who are being called performative, and you have companies that are definitely being performative, which people are taking as to be truly how they feel.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I do feel like those. It's like that's sort of a minority, of like in both senses. Because I do. Yeah. But I see what you're saying. I think you're right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like I feel one of the things that I love about the internet is like stuff like this, like the conversations that we're having right now, for example, is something that like could not have happened before, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just interesting because like I feel like I've spent my whole life online in a lot of ways, and I write about the internet for like professionally, like as a job, and it's just like I don't know, I find it very interesting to reflect on like what it's doing to us, because like I used to describe my job to people as like I talk about what the internet is doing, like what I'm doing to the internet as much as what it's doing to me, and I feel like that's sort of the place that we've gotten to as a whole. Like I think people are aware now of the stuff that the internet is doing to them. But anyway, Gabe.
Oh, what? No, dude, I'm fucking fascinated. Dude, you on a fucking roll.
No, I mean, I feel like I can't tell if I'm out of pocket or not because I can't see chat. Shouts to you. We're looking at you.
I mean, I think that the question that came up to me when we were having this discussion a second ago was, we were talking about how the outcome and the overwhelming support that came from the George Floyd movement was different from 2014 with everything that happened. And I wanted to ask you and Devin and Slasher that as we just saw this moment just happen, what was the first moment for you guys when you use social media that made you go, oh shit, wow, this is like the thing that just like I
actually have a story.
Well, either one of you guys want to go
I mean,
No,
like, and
go for it, man.
the story was like, so during this charity stream, we were raising money for this organization called Black and Pink, which is like it's an organization that is for prison abolition for like LGBTQ people. So like it does jail support for people like trans people in prison who have HIV, essentially. And we were raising money, and I'd emailed them like a few weeks before, being like, hey, can you guys get on Tiltify? We're trying to raise money for you. They didn't answer. We did the stream anyway. We raised money for them. The director of the organization got into chat and was just like, hey, just so you know, we're using the money that you guys are raising right now to bail people out of jail. Thank you. And like, that is the coolest thing that has ever happened to me online. I was like, yo.
You were using the money you raised to bail people out.
I was just like, yo, like you guys are doing it right now. Like right here.
Slash, you don't got nothing, bro? It's like, what?
Dude, I feel like anything that I do is performative, even if I really do mean it. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've raised money for various charities and tried to.
Wait, you feel that anything that you do online is performative or is looked at?
No, everything I do in my life is performative. I don't actually know anything anymore. I mean,
I think that's a cop out. I think that's not true. I think you believe things very deeply, and I think that because as a white guy, you feel like you're not entitled to speak on these things, that you're not allowed to, which is not true.
That is actually partially true. Yes, I find that white people should shut the fuck up more often in general.
Cheers,
when it comes to white black things. Like there's always like white people like in the streets doing all stupid shit during these during a lot of the protests lately. It's like, what the fuck are you guys?
Well, I mean, the other thing is like
relax.
It is good that they're there, and also, hey, if you're white and you're watching this and you're at a protest, please put your body in front of other black people, or like, because the cops won't actually attack you. You'll be good.
It's super fucked up that's actually that's actually like a thing.
100%. If you're a white dude, especially
Yeah,
no, like in New York, it was kind of crazy because like we had all these protests happen on like NYPD is like it's like I think maybe the LAPD is like equal in size or even bigger.
Yeah.
How we've had all the change happening in New York City, like all the protests happening on people. I mean, like I know people who got hit with fucking tear gas to the face, riot shields. I know somebody was in that video where that car drove through. It was ridiculous. And it's crazy.
We've upgraded from the protests to black vans rolling up.
Straight up, yo, snatching people off the street. I didn't,
Dog.
dude. I was like, what? Like this is the situation we're in now. It's like, oh, now we have a was it? I forgot what they called it. What kind of warrant it was? It was some
Doesn't matter.
some weird snatch warrant. It was ridiculous. And then I remember earlier in the conversation when Devin was talking about, we were talking about like how people were raised genetically, like not genetically, but like raised like to be in groups like 150, 120, Dunbar's number, et cetera, et cetera. We're not equipped to handle today at all. We're running on fucking old framework. I mean, old updates and shit. And it always blows my mind how like in New York City we have like 11 million people and like X amount of people who aren't registered on the census or whatever, and like there's not more shit happening because it's like that social angst, especially because the internet, for all it's worth and all it's great, after having the thing we had recently within the gaming community where it was like I was reading all those cases of like the Me Too moment, like it was like so many of them things was like, dude, this is fucking terrible socialization. Like these people weren't like, there's something happened between them growing up as like a kid and whatever, and they don't know how to interact with people, and I felt like they were treating people like NPCs, and I was like, what?
Right, but it's not that they don't know how to interact. It's that they were told or absorbed the knowledge that they could do that, and that was fine, and no one would say anything.
Yeah.
But you're obviously correct. But
so it's like, it's interesting. Like I don't know how people are gonna. I don't. Maybe Devin has any thoughts on this because he's fucking massive brain. Like how do we deal with this when you have like people who are interacting with each other at scale they've never experienced before? Like what is the fucking not the cure, but like how do you inoculate yourself against that anxiety, right? That public speaking thing, that's a real thing. I took a public speaking class in college.
Really?
Everybody in there could not speak. They were just like like fucking stuck in time. Like I don't even know how to say my name and my favorite color. What? Sorry, this is like really random.
No, it's a really good point. I think that there's two facets of it. So the first one is self-education, and this is not something that people overestimate what it takes to get to this point. But like, if you read a single like nonfiction book about the world like per month, or even listen to one on like Audible or something like that, by the end of the year you can be vastly ahead of like most people stop learning like after college. They kind of like get into like their groove, they join orientation at some work, and then like they're done. But like constantly trying to assess and reassess information. And the way that I look at it is like, if you ever think that you are on the absolute right side of history and you can't at all discuss the other person's side and you can't advocate for it, you should that should be a red flag. You should be like worried that you are not, you might have some kind of cognitive bias that you're not entirely aware of.
Yeah, you should be able to debate the person's side as well as you can debate your side.
100%. Yeah, I think that's number one. And I think number two is I think we've gotten to a point, and if we're not at that point now, we soon will be, that the amount of input that we are expected to receive as human beings, like from the news and from social media and from our friends and from our phones, is insurmountable. And that we have to have a conscious effort in reducing that input to like kind of like straining that faucet to a smaller amount of inputs. And like I've disabled Twitter DMs. I don't consume Reddit. I've disabled Discord DMs. Like I really, really try to focus on that. I think a lot about like my mental health in relation to how I engage with these platforms, understanding and respecting their power.
Yeah,
matter of fact, because I know you're massive in like
Smart man. I have open DMs on everything.
You're a crazy person. How's that going today, by the way?
Oh,
holy shit!
It's going
Keemstar showed up and they start fucking blaring that
Slasher,
drop.
I have to say, I really appreciate how you seem to respond to my DMs whenever
He
I ask
handles
you to be on the
everything
show.
with grace.
I'm just like, hey man, thanks for. I know you're getting DM'd a lot. I appreciate it.
If you block people, that is a sign. Doing something which you think might help you, and maybe it does, usually backfires on you. And I use social media a certain way. Like, open DMs is insane. Devin is right. Closing everything is probably definitely the better way to do things. But in my mind, I never block anyone. I didn't block anybody from today, or I've never blocked anyone like after a fight, because I see that as just giving people content. Let people yell at you. I have hundreds of DMs today of people talking shit to me. It's fine. You can talk shit into the void. I won't read any of the things that you write to me. to DM me and to reply how much you hate me.
Oh my God, a Slasher's YouTube video where he reads his DMs.
And
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
because if you start replying to people, sometimes I dunk on people. I do try. I dunk on some people, but I
You
try
dunk
to
on
pick.
people on in your replies, which I
I
really
pick and
appreciate.
choose. I pick and choose a little bit of people, but generally, you just want to ignore everyone.
Yeah.
People on
I
the
agree.
internet have the memory of a goldfish
100%.
when
Yep.
it comes to huge things. So even tiny things, it's not worth responding to most of the time. People will forget and move on to the new fucked up thing of this fucked up year and this fucked
What's
up
the new
planet.
viral creator on TikTok of the week who said this week, et cetera, et cetera? The Joe Rogans of the week. Devin, another follow-up question for you based upon what we were talking about a second ago, because I know you're massive into fucking self-help. Like you're fucking
sure.
You're in that shit. Like the fucking
Please help
Buddhist,
me, Devin.
the fucking green tea. Get Slasher's life in
Yo,
check.
if we could do a self-help live online.
The fucking green tea making session with Devin, the mastery.
Slasher might already have hit an enlightenment, man. There might not be nothing I can teach.
It's like
He's hit enlightenment. I've hit my pocket beer. Like, cheers.
so I'm gonna hit you with like the Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan question, right? It's like, so what does your morning routine look like? Like, what do you do the minute you wake up? Because you have everything fucking muted, right? You don't look at your phone, or I'm assuming like
No. I
like what
don't.
is your process to
Wait, what's your
staying
alarm-
as calm?
What's your alarm clock?
So I typically roll out of bed about 12:30 p.m. Or 1 after playing EVE Online till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wait.
No, wait. What is it about Eve?
and then-
What is it about Eve?
Is there also an alarm clock, or is this natural?
It's a no, I use an alarm clock and stuff if I have like meetings and things like that. Otherwise, I just like so here's the thing, okay? Because I'm glad you guys brought this up. I think people are like expecting me because I'm really big into this and I teach a lot about self-help. People are like, damn, like Devin Nash must get up at like 4:30 a.m. like up before the enemy,
Why?
fucking like rolls out of
The
bed,
bad
does
guys don't
100
sleep. Why
jumping
should
jacks.
I?
Yeah, like no, like my fat ass falls to bed eating like 9 cookies and then fucking wake up at like 12:30 a.m. like p.m. and I
You
fucking
sound like a happy dude, bro.
That's the thing, right? Is like I'm really authentically connected with my life and I fucking know what I like. And I love my life. I love everything of it, right? Like I love my relationships. I love what I do. I do everything I want to do and very little of what I don't want to do. That's the thing. Is like I don't like we tend to think like it's good that Jocko Willink can get up at like 4:30 in the morning and then like fucking deadlift fucking 600
Fucking
pounds.
get
but
after it.
that's not necessarily the path to happiness. Like the path to happiness is whatever you and your most authentic self define it to be.
I love that. Like,
Dude.
I love that. Like, self-help is both as smart and as fucking stupid as you are and as you make it. Because like there's no solution.
Well, it's your
Slasher.
solution. That is the
My-
solution, right?
Yeah. Slasher, you were saying.
I vibe with half of everything Devin
Oh,
said.
here we
I
go. Let's go. Let's go.
know myself. I know what I like. I'm doing the things that like make me happy. And I'm generally just miserable all the time. I know that I love to look at my phone when I first wake up and scroll through shit that I really shouldn't be doing. I know I use the internet way too fucking much and play generally too many games to the point where it's affected business relationships, personal relationships, my relationship with my ex-wife, tons of different things affecting my life. Sometimes positive. I enjoy it. I've liked it. I kind of like ghosting people. Not exactly a good thing overall in the spirit of life and stuff. So kind of definitely know myself. Devin's hitting white men. Maybe I have where I am miserable.
Well, I mean, look, Slasher, you're miserable, but you know exactly who you are, which is that's like more than half the battle, bro. Like that's
Very cool.
very far into the process of getting
wonderful.
enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
So matter of fact, Devin, and by the way, because Slash, you mentioned it earlier. I know you can't get into it because you said everybody should take mushrooms before they use the internet, but we can't talk
Talking
about
drugs
these
now?
things. Huh?
Drug talk?
I just want to ask Devin because I know that DMT in of itself is the craziest shit you can do.
This
So
is the Joe Rogan.
This is the Joe
podcast
Rogan
now.
fucking
We are
question.
now on the Joe Rogan podcast.
And it's like I have like 4 friends who've all like done ayahuasca, they've done like crystallized DMT, whatever it is, and they've all had the most craziest experiences when they explain it to me.
Bro,
Devin, what was yours? If you can sum it up, or if it's even possible to
You
even
can't sum up those kind of things. I mean, like the thing is, DMT wasn't even close to my most intense experience. My most intense experience was by far on peyote.
Really?
Like,
'Cause it's 12 hours,
not even,
right?
not even. No, peyote's not. Peyote's like I'd say like 8 to 10. Ayahuasca is multi-day sometimes, and I did that too. But I had a really. This is what happens when you get old, dude. Like you have like a lot of weird shit happen, and I actually spent a whole year with a Native American shaman. And like
Shit.
I did peyote, I did mushrooms, I did all kinds of stuff. It was a huge part of like self-discovery. And dude, yeah, peyote takes the cake for like there isn't anything close. like I had more crazy experiences on peyote than I had on anything else. It was
That's some
it was
old school
bananas.
shit,
This man went full Terrence McKenna right now. Fucking
That's some
psychedelic
old
warrior
school-
over
I
here.
mean, look.
Yeah, it's a big part of me.
Yeah, I mean, look. It's
Wait,
funny.
where were you with a shaman?
San Diego. We also wandered around Mexico. We wandered, but this is back before like 9/11 border, everything like that. You could just walk over into Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah, and
wow.
like so we would walk into there. We'd walk into New Mexico. We went to Del Mar. I originally met him because I was actually competing in martial arts, and my instructor wanted me to learn other martial arts. So I was competing in Shaolin Kempo, and he wanted me to learn other martial arts, particularly submission martial arts and balanced martial arts.
Yeah.
So he got me in touch with a guy that taught Aikibudo, like
Yep.
classic
Oh, yeah.
Morihei
Yep.
Yushiba style.
Mhm.
So no punches, like
Yep.
no kicks or anything like that. Everything was all submission and was like sorry, I'm like getting so like I learned under him, and then I learned after years of training under him that he was actually like from a traditional Apache family. His grandfather was a shaman, his father was a shaman, and I like a lot of the stuff that he imparted upon me in the 6 years of that I was training. One particular year where I really focused on it, everything about herbalism to spirituality to like anima, the way that everything is animated in the world, that all living things have like a pulse and consciousness. That there was, and like the way that you discover those things and those gateways. I'll tell you real quick how he described it to me. So he said, imagine you're born into a room with white walls and no windows. And the only thing you would ever know if you were born into this room was what's in it. And those are the only things you would be able to title or to label. He said, if you take psychedelics, you open the door to the next room. And he said, if you master the spirituality, you leave the house altogether.
Bro.
It's funny. There was that you said that makes me think of I forgot in what Stephen King novel where it's like the guy comes to a table and the dude's just like, all right, welcome back. We have these two files. We have one that's like, this is your life. If you go through this door, you'll repeat your life again, but know that you've done it a million fucking times already. And then the other one is we just throw this file out and you walk through the other door, you know what the fuck is gonna happen.
Is that the Dark Tower? It sounds like the Dark Tower.
I think so. And
It's the gunslinger shit. Like
Yeah,
it sounds like
which is like what you just said with the white room, and also me just bringing up that random fucking thought in general. It made me think. Do you guys recall your first fucking memory? Because like, I recall waking up in my grandma's bed, like just I'm 4 years old, like where the fuck?
Yeah, I
am
remember kicking a ball down a hallway, just like very dim, just once, and I was like,
I'm fucking here.
I was like,
I thought that
4?
story was gonna be. I remember like coming out of my mom's vagina.
Oh nah.
No, you can't,
That's
form
intense.
memories that early,
I remember
bro.
the push.
I remember I was there for it. I fucking came out glorious.
See, if you did enough psychedelics, you would remember the push. However, the room.
It accessed
has
that
white
deep level of your
walls.
unconsciousness that you actually recorded when you were there. Because you couldn't even remember that because your eyes are fucking
No,
closed.
your memories just don't start forming until you're like
Yeah.
4. Just like that's the thing.
Do you guys have any of those that you recall like from like your?
Bro, I
know
don't
this
even
has
remember what I
nothing
ate
to
for
do.
lunch yesterday.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
Wait, but
Like-
I do want to go back to I do want to go sort of go back to psychedelic because again, like it's funny because psychedelics are sort of a shorthand for like accessing a collective good. Do you know what I mean? It's like psychedelics are a shorthand for like caring about other people, caring about the environment, caring about yourself.
Can be yes.
And but I'm saying in conversation generally, like this is like it's like people who take it's sort of accepted that people who take psychedelics are like they understand themselves better. And I think it's very interesting that like that those specific class of drugs have achieved that sort of primacy as far as self-knowledge goes, because I think there are a lot of other ways to gain self-knowledge, and there are a lot of other like
For sure.
valid ways to do it. But it's like I don't know, Devin. Your story just makes me it just makes me think a lot about my own like drug experiences and like it's just interesting. Go on.
I think the reason why psychedelics has become so prominent in recent society is like everything, it acts as a shortcut. So if you do the meditation, read the scripture, contemplate the koans and like do the work, you can hit the same results.
Really?
But
He's right.
have you
absolutely.
done that?
This is
yeah. I mean, I
self-optimization.
studied traditional Buddhism for years. I've read all of the long, short, probably over thousands of pages of Buddhism. I've read the Bible 4 times. I read the Rig Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita.
Right, but,
I
like-
read all the Shinto stuff, the Tao Te Ching. I read, yeah, of course.
No
But
one
like
does that,
I'm
though.
saying,
This guy's
well, my parents made me, and
No,
then
but, like-
after that, I became like fascinated with it. But
Yeah, but like nobody. You're right. Yes.
But what I'm saying is like so like but okay, so yeah, no one does that, but that was the path for thousands of years.
Yes.
If you wanted to do that, you became you were a scholar. You devoted yourself to the art, and you and shamans and people, even people all the way back till the tribal days. But recently in Eastern culture, in Hinduism and Buddhism, the monks that devoted themselves to this, they were exclusively focused for their entire life, depending on what you believe, multiple lives, on this idea of reaching that enlightened state.
Mhm.
And so so it's like we like everything else, we all want the shortcut out of everything in society. And psychedelics is
resistance.
one of those shortcuts, but it's at a great cost because if you try to get through that shortcut, you're missing a lot of stuff along the way, and a lot of people burn out and end up in way worse positions because they took that option.
Gabe, have you ever done psychedelics?
I cannot comment on camera.
Okay.
I have family.
Guys, I gotta I actually
Yeah.
have to bounce. I'm really
That's-
sorry.
Dude, I already told you could just say I gotta fucking get out of here.
No,
anytime.
Yeah.
we've.
This is way over what we expected, and it's been fucking amazing.
I thought it was gonna be 11:30. We're an hour over.
I hope the talk was really helpful. Slasher, I very much enjoyed being on here with you as well, man.
Yes, thank you, Devin, for being out here with me.
It was a very, very enjoyable.
You guys gotta go do scuff now, right?
I don't know what's going on with Slasher, because I think I didn't do the guest list today because I was on this. So I don't know what's going
I've
on.
been outclouded.
You might have been
outclouded right now?
I've actually been outclouded by Moist Critical.
Uh-oh.
You've been
and which
outclouded,
he
bro.
really does outcloud me, unfortunately.
I mean, look, I don't believe in clout.
Okay,
It's not
what?
part of my.
It's not part of the path. Well then, okay, let's not hold the two gentlemen any longer than
Yeah,
they have to.
thank you guys.
Bijan,
Yes.
go ahead and take us
It's
out.
time for the outro. Thank you guys so much for being here, Devin, Slasher. We really appreciate it. This is great. This was an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
This was not anything I expected was going to happen. Thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody in the audience, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Come back. We'll be here
10 p.m.
next Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Is it
Eastern time.
EDT though?
It's
not
EDT
EST?
right now. It's
It's not
EDT.
EST.
It's EDT right now. Yeah.
10 p.m. Eastern EDT. Guys, please come back. Like, this was great. We should do this again at some point.
We'll talk
you
martial
for
arts
having
next
us.
time, Devin.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks,
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the last thing I should say is, like, on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., we have a show called GG's. They review games. I don't know what the fuck they're reviewing after this.
Ghost of Tsushima, I think. Oh, so
No,
we did it.
no.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Who gives a fuck? Please come back. See you later. Get the fuck
This guy's
out of my
fucking
house.
sauced. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.